Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hey, guys. Notice... Hey, guys. Long time no stream on YouTube. It has been a minute. Hey, everyone. Hello. 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 How's everyone doing? I'm scared. Yes, I know Tone Vays is a complete shill. I know he sells a trading course. I know this guy sells like an $800 indicator, get rich quick type guy. So I just sat through this guy's stream where he was responding to my video, and this guy is closely related to Blockstream, right? If you guys haven't watched my last video, I'll explain. And I go in there and I'm like, okay, let me respond to everything you have to say about my video, point by point. I'm here. I will defend my video. And they waited, and they're like, we'll let you talk at the end. I stuck around for 2 hours and 41 minutes, and they didn't let me talk. And as you can tell, he disabled the live chat. Yeah. So, love your SoundCloud. It's so early. He is worse than his show. The fact that he said that he was going to let me talk, but he was afraid to let me on, and everyone in the chat was saying, you know what, let him talk. They were here for waiting for me to talk. And they would not let me. This is what you guys need to know about what I've been dealing with my last video release, is that the cryptocurrency community is so fucking insanely corrupt that these people are willing to shill to the ends of the earth to protect their fucking creator. It's insane. So we're going to go through and respond to his video, and we're not going to let him talk, okay? It's such a big bruh moment. It is stupid. Drop a Sig mixtape. He disabled live chat because I roasted him. Yeah. So as you guys can tell, I'm heated. So I'm going to take a second. But yeah, I think this whole thing is because I put so much work into this last video for people to come out of the woodwork and just not even let me discuss it when they're talking directly to me. So that being said, that's what we're going to do today. And I'm going to go through this point by point. And because people have been trying to discredit me, the entire community has been, that I feel I need to make a response because I think this is going to be entertaining as fuck. Thank you for the $1. So, do you guys want me to do a real quick recap from what's been happening before I get into this, or do you guys kind of know already? I know, it's so petty. It's so petty, but my point is that you guys need to understand, if you guys are involved or investing in cryptocurrency, this is what you're dealing with. And this is the reason I made the video, was to shine a light on how fucked up it is. That was the whole point. And in the first two videos, I was a little bit ignorant, okay? But then I took the red pill. Okay. So, I released the video. Let me pull up Twitter as well. So, I released Unmasking Satoshi Nakamoto. And a wide variety of articles started to pop up. So let me pull them up. Yeah, the guy got scared. Thank you for the $10. What are we winning again? So he wouldn't let me, he would go through the video, basically just shit talk me the whole time. And he knew I was in the chat. I was waiting very patiently. And I was like, let me talk. But this is all in response to Unmasking Satoshi Nakamoto. And the fact that the community has been so vocally against me in this regard shows that I'm 100% fucking right. So, barely rage, you guys. Add him back. We'll go through his tweets. Let me pull up Twitter. Cooper, I hope I saved you some money. One sec. So, thank you for the donations, you guys. All right, so one quick recap, start to finish. I know I've said this before. I released part 3 where I unmasked Satoshi Nakamoto. I said it was add him back. It was unbiased in the sense that I pissed off both camps of people, and the video still got a 98% up rating, which should tell you that I wasn't taking a side there, is my goal. Is I wanted to represent the truth, because many people don't investigate these mysteries properly. They have some agenda, And over the past week, if you check my Twitter, let me pull it up. Ever since I released this video, the cryptocurrency community has basically fucking been imploding. Pardon my language. And like, you're seeing wild conspiracies coming through here. So I want to take some time to laugh at this, to laugh at Tone Vays, and show how insane this community is in covering up this whole thing. So I'm 100% certain. My point being is that even if there's the slightest chance it's not him, no other candidate even remotely comes close. So let me pull up a new scene real quick. Let's do this. Don't let them shut you down. Yeah, I realize that these people have a lot of resources, you know, comparatively speaking. One sec. And it's pretty amazing to see all of this from my perspective, you guys. Let's see if it wants to load. Why is Twitter not coming up? One sec. You know what? Let's just go through the video point by point, because that's what I originally intended on doing, and then we'll get into Twitter later if we still have the if we're still interested. How about that? Yeah, I know they want the free publicity, but I enjoy this stuff because I like defending my work, and I like defending things that I spent a lot of time doing. So the fact that he wouldn't let me on to talk, you remember how we emphasized censorship in that video? Like, this person is wearing a Blockstream hoodie. Keep that in mind. This person is wearing a Blockstream hoodie. All right. Okay, so he lines out with a bunch of notes that he wants to go through in terms of my video, right? And he wants to go through and disprove my video and discredit it, okay? Let's get into that. Bro, you got way too many tabs open. Just kidding. I always have way too many open. How many of you were in the chat that were from the other live stream? I have a Scarlett Focusrite Studio. There we go.
I think it might be a computer code.
This was the roots of the cypherpunks, though, and as
all right, I'm gonna let him talk, and I'm just gonna rebut, just like how they wouldn't let me talk on their stream because they're pussies.
Previously, their main form of communication was a very active email list called the cryptography mailing list. You can think of this email list as a sort of precursor to an online forum, and this mailing list was so active that trolls at the time actually signed people up on their behalf to flood their inboxes with spam. This mailing list was started around 1992 by Eric Hughes, Timothy C.
No sound? All right, let me swap. You guys haven't missed anything yet. One sec. I remember this was a problem when I would come back to stream on YouTube.
May and John Gilmore, who founded a small group.
Let me know when you guys can hear, okay?
That met monthly at Gilmore's company Cygnus Solutions.
Yeah, I think that the importance is like, I'll explain in a second. Make sure you guys can hear.
In the San Francisco Bay Area. Here, as like-minded individuals, they discuss why.
All right, you guys can hear? I know it's quick, but the point here is that this is a 2-hour video. I don't want to waste your time like you wasted mine while I was waiting patiently.
Variety of political topics and goals of the group had in mind. As the cypherpunk community grew, the mailing list grew quickly as well to over a few thousand individuals.
Sound now. Okay, cool.
And over time, it became an incredibly active group for discussion over the years. As the group grew further, the cypherpunks continued to play at least some role in developing a number of notable softwares over the years. Something I want to keep back.
I know it's fast, you guys. I know it's fast. I want to get to his points when he actually starts talking. There's a lot of fluff in between here.
Remind as we go forward is that the origin of the cypherpunk group stems from California. Consider that at this time in the internet's history, you didn't have as far-reaching political activism. Geographically, this group grew far larger by word of mouth, more than just random stream.
All right, so that's all I wanted to point out. Like, he spends a lot of time in the video talking about the cypherpunk movement of the 90s, and then says that this will all make sense later, but he never comes back to that point in any of the.
Okay, the reason this happened is because I didn't figure this out until part 3. So I did, when I initially started this video, I was going to actually say that Satoshi Nakamoto was dead, that he was like a professor or something like that. I didn't know. And so he's saying that I didn't follow up on this point, so I'm an idiot. Okay.
So that was the first thing that I'm like, okay, how is he gonna? Because I kind of had a feeling that the answer was gonna be I'm back, and everyone knows the answer is I'm back.
It is King Sandwich. Thank you for the $5, dude. I appreciate it.
But I was like, okay, Ty, like explore.
All right, I'll slow it down for you guys, okay?
Something I want you to keep in the back of your mind is this.
The cypherpunk movement of the 90s, and then says that this will all make sense later, but he never comes back to that point in any of the other videos. So that was the first thing that I'm like, okay, how is he gonna, because I kind of had a feeling.
Yeah, they are hiding. Yeah, this is nuts, you guys. It goes way deeper than this. You guys should see what I'm seeing behind the scenes.
That the answer was going to be Adam Back. I mean, everyone knows that the answer is Adam Back. But
okay, dude, I made this in January, like well before any of this happened. So the reason you do parts is because you want to reflect on new information that you gain over time. At the time, this is what I came up with, and I had an idea of what I wanted to do, but I changed the direction later. Not a huge deal.
But I was like, okay.
Again, how does this disprove that? How does that make me any less credible in any way? You see what we're dealing with here, guys? This is the kind of insanity that we're dealing with. He makes fun of my dyslexia. Like, fuck this guy.
I explain how Adam Back is connected to the California cypherpunk movement in the 90s, and he never does. So it's kind of like you lead up to this point, but you never actually explain that.
I already explained that in just a second.
Unfire Chekhov's gun, right? Like you introduce a gun in a plot, then
Satoshi is not Hal Finney.
And somebody's got to.
You'd have to assume he was talking to himself for months on end. He was asking himself coding questions. And then not to mention, you have to assume he's a narcissist because he's like, thanks, that means a lot coming from you, Hal. Satoshi wrote that. So that would be him complimenting himself. It's not fucking Hal Finney.
Use it. That's
Hal Finney helped out a lot, but he's not Satoshi.
Kind of how storytelling should be. Instead, he introduces this point, never really resolves anything. It's just...
Yes, because I came back to it and changed, like, this series was made months later. Okay, moving on.
It's just bad art.
Just bad art. Fuck you, bitch.
I think, yeah.
So, I mean, it's fine. It's fine to give the history of the cypherpunk. It's okay to give the history of the cypherpunk movement and the mailing list, but then he keeps saying how this is all going to make sense later. This is all going to make sense later.
As we go forward.
All right. This is just getting repetitive. I already explained this.
Consider that at this
I'm
time
heated, guys. I'm heated.
History, you didn't have as far-reaching political activism geographically.
I think you might have clicked the same one, so I think you have to close this one and
far
then
larger by word of mouth, more than just random
Okay,
strings.
let's try this again. So we have right here timestamp 1079.
So that was his first point. Let's get on to point 2.
Okay. That should be roughly, what is it, 60?
We'll talk about all the anti-XT stuff
show it to
later,
like
you
in
guys.
Minutes, not
Yeah, 10 minutes.
Keep in mind this guy's wearing a Blockstream hoodie, okay? He talked to Adam Back before he made this, too. He admitted that.
Then 40 seconds.
No, you know what?
A number of notable softwares over the
Oh,
years.
I see what it's doing. Yeah.
Taking me back to the same thing.
Yeah.
Something I want you to keep in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
You know what I need to do? I need to probably copy paste.
Yeah.
As far as me making a big deal out of this, you guys, just know that I'm a little upset that I spent a lot of time working on this. And for the whole community, like, I understand criticism is a very, very important part of this, but like, when you have people that obviously have ulterior motives, that's what I'm trying to highlight here. Because it's infuriating that this person would waste my time. And like, the whole point is like adding to a discussion, creating good content. I want to make things that are entertaining for you guys, but like, this is something you need to be aware of if you're in this space, especially on this topic in particular. It's more of a PSA. That's all I'm really getting at here.
Right. This should work.
Yeah.
So I still have I'm running too much stuff. Guys, I promise I'll buy a new computer. This computer cost me $2,300 a year and a half.
Dude, how come you don't have a good computer? Like, you sell a get-rich-quick, like, trading course, dude. You sell a get-rich-quick trading course. You can't even afford a computer to stream with? Amazing.
Ago, and it's clearly not enough. I will buy a 32 RAM machine.
32 gig RAM machine? Yeah.
White paper itself is actually...
Okay, so here is his point, and he does summarize it, but I'm going to let this pause. I'm going to let this buffer for a second. I'm going to set it to extra speed, and we're going to go through this one. I'm going to do a 175, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
You guys want me to debate this guy after this? Sure. I wanted Adam Back to come on, but he doesn't want to come on. Because if you can't disprove it, you know, plausible deniability. Cling to that little bit.
actually of British origin. And something you should consider is if we look up Google Trends, we can see that out of any of the first world countries up until 2008, when Satoshi posted this, the term white paper had almost double the interest in the United Kingdom. To top that off, almost every given opportunity in this white paper,
What did he say?
he would write in British English.
Did that screenshot look like double to you?
Yes, it actually was double. Good catch. There's a second layer.
It's literally like 39 to 14 mentions.
So the point that I brought up in the first point is that, yes, out of all the other locations, this term was the most used. I didn't know it was Adam Back in the first part, by the way. When I made this video, I didn't know it was Adam Back.
Ireland. Okay, it's close enough. Almost counts.
Hey, Coiner. What's up, dude?
Slightly lower than that.
If you can't disprove it, it must be true.
Okay.
Yeah.
To top that
So
off,
this guy doesn't even get into like the Adam Back part until 2 hours in. Like, that's insane. And people were cheering this guy on in his chat. It's amazing to me.
almost every given opportunity,
Altcoin Daily, like, as much as like you can agree to disagree with someone, like I don't see it your way, but as you guys will soon start to see, you'll see like kind of the intentions behind these people.
in this white paper, he would write in British English. Throughout his various writings across all his profiles, he uses terms like checks, analyze, favor, organize, and even bloody difficult. Throughout all his writings, he never spells anything incorrectly. Though keep in mind that none of us are perfect, which means that whatever spell checking software he had at the time was correcting him in British English. What's incredibly interesting about all of Satoshi's writing on the internet over the years.
Thank you, Sample Name. And I appreciate all the donos, you guys. You guys have been really supportive. I really appreciate it. It really does make sifting through shit for hours on end worth it.
Is that he used two full spaces after a period in every single sentence. I kid you not. Go look up his forum account on Bitcoin Talk and you'll see what
So by this time in the stream, I had already, like, I can't show you the live chat. I was already like, let me come on the stream. Like, let me, because they were like, okay, we'll wait till the end and we'll do it. But if I can't go through point by point, they're like, it's my channel. I get to decide what you want. I'm like, yeah, well, it's my video. My point is like, we're both on equal ground. You're allowed to, like, if I'm here, why not just talk to me? What does that tell you?
I'm talking about. This idiosyncrasy is found predominantly in two categories of people.
Altcoin, you're very reasonable. I want to be clear. As much as like we don't see eye to eye, you're a very reasonable person that was in that chat.
One instance for the use of double space after a period is that of academics, as a few different college writing styles mandated the use of a double space after a period.
This is Nexpo. And they sped it up. I can't slow that down for you guys.
But here's the thing. Many of these college formats have since then removed this requirement over the years. What's interesting here is that Satoshi casually used this double space after a period method to the point that it became muscle memory, which hints at this habit having been done for years. This could very well mean that Satoshi had learned.
All right. This isn't even like relevant at all. Like, why would you make a stream debunking my video and even mention this?
To type on a typewriter instead of a keyboard as double spacing.
They were getting fancier, but my family couldn't afford it. So
Your family can.
literally, someone donated me a typewriter from the 1960s. And that's what I was using to write my papers on in the 1990s. And this is not like somewhere in the middle of Africa or India. This is New York.
What does this have to do with my video? Guys, what does this have to do with my video? We'll talk about the double space, you guys, and we'll go into chat. I think like I don't think that any video is perfect, and I think that there are definitely weaker and stronger arguments. But like, why are you spending look? All right, let's get into some of this point here, because this is where he denies that he doesn't know how Blockstream is going to make money when he's wearing a Blockstream hoodie. Like, so.
Go off for me because these are not fair characterizations. And
all right, let's go.
I will guess that it's actually the right time. That is how you're applying this analogy. That this is the one time John McAfee is not 99% bullshit. Like,
yes, that's exactly what I said in the video, because he hinted at it being Adam Back, and from what my own research saw, and a lot of you agree with, it probably is him more than anyone else. So how is this even a valid point that me saying John McAfee is right once and then me acknowledging he's almost always wrong have anything to do with my argument? This is what's called a red herring. He's just throwing random shit in here.
yeah.
just having McAfee in here and giving him credibility is insane. Like, the video loses more credibility
You're telling me this guy's a joke.
than anything leading up to this point. Jimmy, your thoughts?
Did I lose all credibility from that, you guys? Amazing.
Yeah, you're exact.
So both of these guys are deliberate shills, and it's amazing to see this. Amazing.
Exactly right. This is if you're saying he doesn't have credibility, saying he's right, you're kind of upping the stakes a little bit, right? You're pushing a few more chips into the middle and saying, okay,
How is this big block propaganda? Your whole point, yeah, exactly. That's why it's meant to distract from the main point. Now, whenever you bring up this topic in the crypto community, everyone has their opinion, but there's two sides to it. It doesn't mean either is right, right? I personally, I made it clear in the video that I lean more towards the big block thing. Now, if you want to argue with me about that, that's on your own time, you know? Like, that's not the point of the video. All I was trying to do is show that there was Blockstream influence throughout the entire thing, and we'll get into that.
my evidence is going to be so good
Thank you,
that
Sebastian.
you're going to end up pulling up John McAfee. If you're depending on John McAfee to bolster your case, you're not doing a very good job by discrediting him first and saying that he might be right
Dude, it's a lighthearted joke. The fact that you're overanalyzing this is insane.
on this particular one.
It's pretty ironic because I'm going tit for tat. But
It's kind of, it
I'm
boggles
gonna upload this on my second channel.
the mind why he's even in there.
Right, and we'll get back to his statement. Many people know who Satoshi is. We'll get back to that later. Don't worry.
The
Okay.
secret is already out, then the secret is already out. So it's about time that someone actually builds a case for the most likely candidate. It seems like every month another person is popping up to claim that they're Satoshi Nakamoto, and frankly, I'd rather tell everyone who Satoshi is than have to deal with a never-ending battle of Satoshi imposters.
Thank you, Super Nick. Dad would approve. Har har.
So with all that being said, let's finally dive into the final chapter and final clue that Satoshi Nakamoto left us.
Yeah, they are stalling. Thank you, Jack.
In the last part, we discussed Satoshi's message to the
My second channel. It's Tone Vays. Oh, hey man,
P2P Foundation.
dude, I'm not gonna lie. You made me very salty for wasting my time.
This was a day after Newsweek thrust California resident Dorian Satoshi Nakamoto into the public eye. Last time we covered this topic, I pointed out how this message was never debunked and was likely from Satoshi. We ultimately came to that conclusion because despite the fact that Satoshi's P2P Foundation forum account was
Thank you,
hacked,
Joe.
we managed to find a date that the hacker recovered this forum account. The recovery date showed a 6-month discrepancy. Also, at the end of the last video, I hinted at this message being Satoshi's final mark on the internet, but there is actually one other message that exists from one of Satoshi's accounts that has also never been debunked. This message was sent at the peak of the Bitcoin scaling drama, and this message also comes from
Wait until we get to the end, you guys. Wait for it. It
Satoshi
gets
Digital Mail
so
email.
amazing.
Now, if you recall, Satoshin@gmx.com was the email that was hacked, but Satoshi had another email address. And this email was almost exclusively used on the cryptography mailing list. Understanding the context of this message and what happened in 2015 is crucial in understanding why Satoshi hasn't revealed his identity, so please bear with me as we get into some of the technical aspects. All of this begins with the very first response to Satoshi's Bitcoin white paper on the cryptography mailing list. The very first message came from a person
Dude, I thought you made notes.
by the
What
name of James A. Donald, and he said,
Come on.
in which changes are so significant that it effectively creates a separate currency. If Bitcoin was
We can talk about a little more.
All right,
going
let's
forward.
move on. We still have a bunch of time to go, but yeah, just the phrasing of this. Now,
All right.
And to combat that,
more people start to use Bitcoin,
I think it's
more
right here.
transactions need to be verified, and since miners
And
can
I was
verify
like-
a certain amount at a time,
I was like trying to say in chat like where they can get a source. Like they're saying, you'll see.
the network hits a maximum capacity, which causes slowed transactions and higher transaction fees.
And like,
Now,
I
Satoshi added
debunk this part because
No,
he
no,
doesn't take into account anything about SegWit here.
why should I bring up SegWit when this is 2015? If you guys don't know what SegWit is, it's in it like it fixes transaction malleability to increase how many transactions can fit into a 1 megabyte limit. That is a total red herring. It's just meant to say, I know this about Bitcoin, and because he didn't bring it up, then he is like, it's complete stupidity. That has nothing to do with the entire video.
right, no, not yet. I was gonna pause right after this part.
Okay.
Give me 1 second, Jimmy.
Okay.
higher transaction fees. Now, Satoshi added this 1 megabyte block limit in secret in 2010.
He did add it in secret.
The reason he did this was
Added the 1 megabyte block limit in secret in 2010.
And it wasn't discovered until I think like 2011 or 2012. Let me double check this real quick, you guys. So this is just straight up nitpicking too. Even if it wasn't wrong.
Because from my understanding, and I wasn't there, guys, I wasn't there. From my understanding, after Bitcoin was released in early 2010, I didn't really see the date on that. If I go back a little bit, there's no date on this. I mean, it's Googleable when he added it, but it was in 2010. And he added it because other people in the community.
Okay, so there is a citation, and it was added in a commit. He hid it. It was added and hidden, or it was hidden in 2 commits in 2010. In 2013, the original lock was discovered by accident. Okay, you can go look that up if you'd like. Yes, 100% true. I'm looking at it right now.
Told him why the block limit needed to.
Why are we watching detractors? Because you guys think, like I said, if you don't care about like the drama and stuff like that, I don't recommend you stick around. I just want to have some fun and go through with this, because I sat through 2 hours of this and I didn't get to say a single thing, and I got a lot to say. So
exist. So I don't understand how it's possible that he would have added it in secret.
Yeah, and it's all open source software. The whole point is that it's out in the public. It's completely transparent. It's a complete.
Okay, then why wasn't it discovered until 2013? Jimmy Song, you have no idea what you're talking about.
Mischaracterization of what happened. So somebody came up with
the fact that I've been involved with Bitcoin for less time and I know more about this whole thing than you do should speak numbers, dude.
Way to attack Bitcoin very easily. Because like Bitcoin was worth very little, what you could do is just for the lulz, create a block that's like 100 megabytes because like transactions were basically being mined for free.
I told them, I said, look, if you guys like, don't shoot yourself in the foot and make things that are easy to debunk, because just never mind.
Free at that point. And to combat that, he put in this as sort of like an anti-spam measure. To suggest that this was done in secret or as some secret conspiracy, and like especially.
I don't suggest it as a secret conspiracy. It's just that he added it so people, it's not like I'm not assuming it was meant for down the line, but it was added in secret. It wasn't discovered till 2013.
Actually, like bringing up like the first reply to the mailing list saying, "Oh, this doesn't scale," from some random guy, as if that's significant. Like
this is why they didn't want me to talk.
It's very disingenuous.
Very disingenuous. Yes.
In addition to that, it's not a 1 megabyte limit anymore. With SegWit, you could go all the way up to 4 megabytes. Now, the optimum tends to be about
What does this have to do with my video?
2 megabytes, and the transactions per second is more than.
It's an appeal to authority here. It's like, I'm a crypto expert. I know all this other shit, so you should listen to me. This guy doesn't know jack shit because he is exposing who Satoshi is. It's bullshit.
7. But these are like talking points that you see from Bcashers who have no idea what the actual technical stuff is. They just get all their propaganda from Roger Ver. So I mean, like.
Oh yeah, they thought I got paid by Roger Ver, and fuck, I wish I got paid by someone to make this video. I got paid by AdSense. Go look at my Twitter. You'll see that the first time I ever talked to Roger Ver was the day this video was uploaded.
Like when I saw this part of the video, that immediately had some red flags go off for me.
What red flags?
Because these are not fair characterizations, and
I am
very biased, and seem to come from a particular segment of the Bitcoin community, which we can talk about a little more.
All right, let's move on. We still have a bunch of time to go, but yeah, just the phrasing of this. Now, he does mention the large loss.
In 2010.
Just the phrasing of this. So they spent like a few minutes talking about that when they were already wrong. So, like, this is why I wanted to come on and talk, but they were afraid. They would not let me come on.
The reason he did this was to prevent something called a poisoned block attack. Essentially, if there was no block size limit, a miner could create a gigantic block, let's say the size of a terabyte. This would force all the other miners to download a massive file, effectively causing a denial of service attack.
Yeah, I get you, altcoin. I see you.
Now, this caused a divide in the community in 2015, as Satoshi had given instructions before he left that stated that the block size limit would increase in something called a hard fork. A hard fork is an update in which changes are so significant that it effectively creates a separate currency. If Bitcoin was going to accommodate more people, then this issue needed to be addressed, and that brings us to 2015.
Yeah, crypto cringe. He sells a trading indicator for $800, if I recall. Like, dude, if that trading indicator is so good, why don't you just go make money with it?
2015 is the year that Bitcoin saw a civil war. Gavin Anderson, the man who Satoshi had put in charge, and another developer.
Gavin Anderson.
Right.
I have dyslexia. I will mispronounce shit all the time. You guys know that. I spell epitome. I said epitome in one of my videos. Does that make... Does me mixing up an R and an E have anything to do with the video or the credibility of it?
So there you go. Wait, I want to get my next... Okay, got it. I want to just get my the next time I need to...
You guys, Coder, I'm not going to say I'm not Satoshi. All right, let's go.
I got it. Okay. So, man, so I'm going to play this and save your comments, Jimmy. But if you want to say something, just scream pause or just wait for me to pause because I have my next spot where I'm going to pause.
Okay.
Took it upon themselves to provide a solution for the Bitcoin scaling dilemma. In June of 2015, Gavin proposed Bitcoin Improvement Protocol 101. This
I messed that up. Bitcoin Improvement Proposal 101.
proposal sought to increase the block size to 8 megabytes and double every 2 years if the miners were able to reach a 75% consensus and upgrade their software. If this fork was to succeed, then Bitcoin XT would actually overtake Bitcoin as the main currency. Many people agreed that this block size limit needed to be raised at some point in time, but the hard part here is getting everyone to agree.
What happened to part 2 of Silent, the Lixity Quiet Pills? I have a statement on Twitter about it and why I didn't want to release it because I ended up having to report some of it to the authorities. So, yeah. Sample name. He's not a clown. He's the entire circus. Only real journalists will willingly take criticism. The fact that you're taking time out of your day shows how dedicated you are. Dude, thank you, Sample name. I really appreciate it. This is a passion project, guys. Like, it's been fun. Like, I really enjoyed this one. Dusky, thank you.
On one proposal. Gavin's proposal was quite popular, and while it wasn't perfect, many people saw it as a way to deal with the oncoming influx of new individuals to the network. However, many of the other developers were not on board with this decision, particularly one for-profit company involved in Bitcoin's development. What you need to understand here is that Gavin expanded Bitcoin's team from 2011 to 2014, and throughout this entire time, Gavin and the Bitcoin Foundation were playing the regulatory game. The Bitcoin Foundation, to which Gavin was a founder, was created to improve Bitcoin's reputation after the Silk Road gave it its criminal background. The Bitcoin Foundation was the one hit with threats for running an unlicensed money business, and the Bitcoin Foundation was the one who testified against lawmakers successfully.
This is also why I wanted to be on the video. There's a lot more history to the Bitcoin Foundation. Like, literally all of their members haven't aged very well. Mark Karpelis was one of them, one of the board members. But you'll see how they address this.
Satoshi ran away at the first mention of the government, while Gavin's foundation played it correctly in lobbying for the right regulation. While Satoshi Nakamoto invented Bitcoin, Gavin's stewardship made it successful. But after all this, in April of 2014, Gavin would step down as the lead developer to focus on promotion. 6 months after Gavin would step down, Blockstream was founded, a for-profit company among a group of top developers. Essentially,
can we pause here? I just want to talk about...
It is true that it is a group of top developers, not all of them, but 2 out of the 5 that had commit access.
The Bitcoin Foundation for a sec.
Sure.
Yeah.
We can pause here. And, okay. I don't want to get into the block size debate. Yet.
Are you sure? Oh, yeah. Okay, cool.
Well, I want to talk about the Bitcoin Foundation because at least the last couple of minutes of this video made it sound like the Bitcoin Foundation was this altruistic, perfect organization.
If you think any organization is perfect, that's really, really idealistic. So my point being here is, yes, they did do well in the beginning, but they kind of fizzled out later and didn't do as well in terms of going bankrupt, likely some corruption in there. But Gavin was the one who founded it. So
that did amazing things and that, they were tossed aside by a conspiracy of people. That's the impression.
That's not true. That's not what I was getting at. That's just the order chronologically
that you get from watching the last couple of minutes of this video. What you should know is that they were very corrupt, that they charge something like, a lot of money to join. They funneled a lot of that.
At least they were a nonprofit.
Money in very bad ways. If you look at the finances, at least from what Bruce Fenton told me, he's in charge of the Bitcoin Foundation now. Like they spent the money really, really badly.
And that's why they basically went. But this was all the way. What you need to consider is what he's referencing, I believe, was, I think it's 2015, 2016. But like I said, the place was not perfect by any means. I think I should clarify that.
Probably on things that really didn't need any money to be spent on. Like they were essentially used, in kind of bad ways as a
Are you going to list any of those bad ways?
as a way to benefit a couple of people. You know, I mean, like people like Brock Pierce were on the board at one point.
Yes, that's true.
You know, just it wasn't a very good foundation. Making it,
like I said, making it seem like it's good. They did good for Bitcoin. I think that's objective. I think just like any organization does some good, they're not perfect in any way. Someone's pocketing money some way, but they're fulfilling a role.
sound like this altruistic thing
Hey,
is
Rudy.
a complete mischaracterization of what Bitcoin Foundation was.
And I just missed a super chat. Dusky. To do a video on Jester, the mysterious hacktivist. I haven't heard of that topic, man. I will write it down on a notepad. Thank you, man, for the super chat.
And as a matter of fact, Gavin Andreessen was one of the people that benefited hugely from it because he was, quote unquote, the chief scientist for the Bitcoin Foundation. He got paid a very large salary as a part of being a member of the Bitcoin Foundation. So that is to bring that up as
Everyone has to get funded in some way, but there are better ways to go about funding.
giving credibility to Gavin Andreessen. It should be the opposite. That should be distracting from Gavin.
So notice how he's saying that the person in the nonprofit organization is not trustworthy because he's getting a salary. Okay? Keep that in mind.
Any credibility that he might have, because it wasn't a very good organization. The foundation ended up basically losing all of the money that they had collected, a lot of it in Bitcoin, which had appreciated greatly during the time that of its existence. So yeah, it's just kind of a really, like, this person that made it just doesn't understand Bitcoin or its history.
I just don't understand Bitcoin or its history. You heard it here, folks.
Right, and I actually was going to pause and I was going to say that praising
Matt.
Gavin for the Bitcoin Foundation is AKA bullshit. I was going to say that as well. That was in my notes. And
What you guys need to understand is that, and what I bring up later, is that no person is perfect. Nobody has the purest of intentions. Look, it's easy to root for Gavin because he kind of got strong-handed, and that's why I mentioned that. Now, in terms of the block size debate, my point is like when this person is sitting here with when Blockstream did all the things that it did, and you're sitting here with a Blockstream hoodie and saying you can't prop up Gavin. Now there are some other alternative theories that I didn't get to go into about Gavin, but we can discuss those at the end.
the other thing that was in my notes is the constant specific mentioning that Blockstream is a for-profit organization.
That is a big deal. That is a gigantic deal.
Now, Blockstream is filed as a corporation, as a for-profit company.
Yes.
Because there's only two choices: a for-profit company and a...
I've been around Bitcoin off and on since like 20, right before the bubble, like a year before the bubble, but not like following it religiously.
a non-profit company, right? A non-profit company goes with very different like regulation as pretty much a charity. So Block...
Yes, and an open source project. Gavin modeled that thing after the Linux Foundation, which is very, like, it doesn't always work out because there's a lot of shady people in crypto, but there you
Blockstream
go.
is not a charity. They're a for-profit company, but
Yeah, which gives them different incentives than just research and development.
there is this giant assumption from everyone on the big blocker side that just because you have a for-profit company and they are not yet directly charging for any services,
Does that mean they're not going to charge later? Are you kidding me, dude?
you, as not part of the company, know exactly what they're going to be charging for in the future. Something that perhaps Blockstream may not even know yet, but you do, right? So we'll get to this later in the video, but just because a company is a for-profit company,
Just because a company's for profit doesn't mean they actually want to make money. Huh? You guys know I was like ripping my hair out listening to this shit?
that doesn't automatically generate assumption as to how that profit is going to be generated.
Crypto
and there
Kirby.
is this automatic conclusion
God.
that because they're a for-profit company, they have to keep the block small so that they can profit from side.
Thank you, Obi-Wan. College board employee made a Reddit account trying to get college students to sign up for cheat groups, basically encouraging kids to cheat. Oh, interesting. I have a lot of like little fun stories too, but I think I'd need a separate channel. I don't like to dilute uploads as much. Yeah.
Chains somehow without ever explaining how. No one has ever explained to me how Blockstream is going to profit from a smaller block. If you said Tone.
Okay, by the way, in terms of, I don't endorse Crypto Kirby at all. He's just a funny dude. He's a funny, like, he draws magical lines on a chart and thinks he knows where the price is going to go. But, like, I'm not going to talk too much about TA. I think you guys know about my opinions on that.
How is Blockstream going to profit from sidechains? Here's my answer.
How are they going to profit from sidechains? I think you know very well when you're wearing one of their hoodies, man. And when you talk to Adam Back, I think you know very well, dude. Like, this is just, and they call me the person putting out propaganda. Are you kidding me?
They're probably the smartest people on the subject of sidechains, and they will have lots of
appeal to authority fallacy.
Consulting opportunities to teach other companies how to utilize sidechains. That doesn't mean they're going to
We're going to talk about the 2015 VistaMail citation because the evidence to discredit that is complete BS.
Profit from the direct transactions inside the sidechain. I have no idea how they're going to profit, but...
You have no idea how they're going to profit. I mean, obviously you have investors in turning... I think he's trying to say turn a profit, but in terms of generate revenue, I show it on the screen because Liquid wasn't even out at this time. So,
as far as I know, and I could be wrong, they're not profiting from Lightning directly. From the
Lightning has failed. Lightning has not done well. I think the nodes, like people are like, there's a bug that would, like, I think Adam Back even said, like later on, that he's kind of like denounced Lightning. I think someone could probably pull up a tweet on that. So Lightning isn't like necessarily Blockstream's project. It's Lightning Labs. But point being is that they do work on it. And Luke Jr., one of their developers, is involved with it. I've studied this shit way too much for this kind of bullshit.
Those fees. Maybe they are, but I haven't done my research, but on that, but like this assumption that there's...
This is just, can someone fill people in on the chat if you're just tuning in now? I'll say that what happened is, ever since I launched that last video, the cryptocurrency community has been trying to discredit it. And look, I like to defend my work and I find it fun. So I wanted to come on here and basically... because this guy wouldn't let me talk, wouldn't let me come on the stream, and he's obviously pushing an agenda. I want to, expose it. That's all I'm trying to do.
This conspiracy, because blockchain is a for-profit company, is ridiculous. Jimmy, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's kind
My channel's monetized.
Kind of ridiculous that he's characterizing Blockstream as like sort of the driver. He's setting up
If you have 100 million in venture capital, you have far more resources and influence over other people in the development of the project. Other people are relying on organizations to pay their salary. The people with the most resources poured into the project have the most influence. Case in point. Whether you want to talk about that's something that they like to conflate. Resources equate to power. It doesn't necessarily mean manpower.
Basically the Bcash talking point about, Blockstream is the evil puppet master behind all this. He fails to mention that like people like Corey Fields are from MIT.
Yeah, Corey Fields is from the MIT Digital Currency Initiative. True, very true. But so is Gavin. So why is Gavin not trustworthy?
DCI, Alex Moore.
DCI is a nonprofit, but if you look at the people who actually fund DCI, oh man,
Morcos and John Newberry and others are from Chain Code Labs. There are others like from DG Labs, other core devs that were a part of.
Oh, you both have an agenda, dude. I am the most impartisan. Or what is the word? I am a third party. I don't own any Bitcoin. I don't own any Bitcoin Cash. I don't own anything. I went through and formed my own opinion, and it's going to piss some people off because a lot of people benefit directly from, like the BTC people didn't like that I named Adam Back, but the Bitcoin Core people hated that I brought up censorship. And wait until we get into that part too.
Of lots of other different companies to suggest that it was just Blockstream. We're going to blame it all on Blockstream for not increasing the block size is ridiculous. There were lots of people.
It's 2020. They still haven't done it.
That were against the block size increase that weren't part of Blockstream, but they somehow get loved.
Yeah. You don't know why? Because if there is any divisiveness in like, guys need to understand is that only a certain amount of people could actually defect and perform a coup. there's in certain like organizations, you don't have as much of a say inherently. Like the idea that you could split off and do your own thing, not many people can do that. They work better as a collective. So if someone, if a certain select few people are, that have the most resources, we'll get into this a little bit further. My point is that this is, if you don't understand how many people are involved with Bitcoin, like who actually controls the reference implementation, this is a huge misleading segue.
And say, they're friends with somebody at Blockstream. Yeah, it's because
Thamos was talking to Gregory Maxwell frequently. So like everyone, he was in the IRC chats every single day. So if you're associating with Blockstream every single day, you hired a company like Slickage, then you're probably on their side. I'm not saying, like, obviously it's a little bit conspiratorial to say that they're directly paid off by them, but hey, if they're throwing conspiracies at me, fair enough.
You're developing open source software together. That kind of tends to happen. So it's just kind of it's a Bcasher talking point. It feels very much like spoon-fed to this guy that clearly doesn't know very much about the history.
Oh, I don't know very much, clearly.
Of Bitcoin into making this film.
Right, but so
I do appreciate you calling the video a film. That's a compliment.
So Barely Sociable is commenting in a live chat.
Look, I've been in the live chat, dude. You were ignoring me.
And he is putting the laughing smiley face and quoting me when I say I don't.
See, you won't let me on. You will not let me on your stream, but you're going to talk directly to me, and then you're saying, okay, listen.
Know how they are going to profit. I don't understand why that is such a funny, laughable statement. Jimmy, do you know how they're going to profit?
Yes.
I mean, like any startup, you try a lot of different things, and whatever works, you go with. And that seems to be their thing. They have stuff like satellite.
They've defensively patented every single piece of technology they own. If you own the reference implementation to Bitcoin, right, and you patent all of the technology on top of it, you fucking own it. It's meaning once you build out the infrastructure, any services that are built on top, you fucking own. So
they have
bullshit.
A Lightning client. They have a Liquid.
Just because they're not making money now is like saying because Amazon forewent profit that they don't plan on making in the future, and they're not going in a separate direction. Insanity.
They're even running a mining facility in Georgia. They're doing like 100 different things, like any startup, to see where they can go and make money. That's what startups do. To suggest that ahead of time which one of those is.
Usually when you start a business, you have some, heads up on how you're going to make money. Like when I make a YouTube video, I know that AdSense is going to make money. Like usually you have something in the back of your head. Jesus Christ.
Going to be successful as a result of doing X, Y, or Z.
Hey, G. Willikers, I'm not saying that they have absolute control, but they definitely have influence. Definitely have a major stake in influence.
If you're really good at that,
and in 2015 that was the turning point.
And if you want to put money behind it, go become a VC, because or start your own company, because that is the hardest problem that any startup has to figure out is product market fit, and you have no idea where that's going to come from until
this is my point though. If there's no product market fit, why are investors throwing money into it?
You try a bunch of things.
All right, let's say that even like here's a good example. Do you really think Jeff Bezos and Amazon knew they were going to make most of their money from Amazon cloud services? They launched the company the year when they launched it, 2000. Oh, it was in the 90s because I was still in university. It was like 90s.
Oh God. We're going to facilitate rational discussion by disabling chat, comments, likes, dislikes, and the author of the video or criticizing. Also, non sequitur avoid. Oh God. Alexander.
Yeah, and this is the case for everything, right?
Thank you for the $20, dude.
Right, like Instagram wasn't like a photo app.
What Blockstream wants to do is they want to build a platform. And what he's referring to is he knows what's going on, because when he's referring to Instagram, you have to build out the platform first to get people to come use it and start to behaviorally start to have that habit. It's part of any startup. Yes, I know that.
at the beginning. That's something that they stumbled onto. Twitch wasn't a video gaming platform. You know, they started with like online videos and.
Okay, I'm not going to be nitpicky, but I've already been nitpicky. Twitch started as just in TV, I think.
TV channels and all this other stuff, and then they migrated to video games because that happened to be the thing that was really popular on their platform. You don't know beforehand what's going to necessarily make you profitable. It's very rare that the first product that you put out is gobbled up by the market.
So basically the logic here is because they don't know if sidechains will be successful, that they didn't intend on making them. What? They didn't intend on going in that direction okay, maybe I could rephrase that better, but it's just such mental gymnastics.
This is what like people that haven't started businesses think that business people do.
Yes, I have started a business, dude. Like, condescending as fuck, dude.
And you know, it just kind of goes to show that this guy doesn't know what startups are like or what startup life is like. You know, kind of like many Bcashers.
I know what shills look like and what that life looks like.
All right, so let's move on, and I have my next pause when we get to Adam's statement about Bitcoin XT. Okay, here we go.
Could pocket the fees instead of the miners. You can find a
Look, it literally shows how they're making money, like right in front here. And conveniently, they gloss over that.
wide variety of opinions on Blockstream online, but I think it's
And I even said, like, you can find a wide variety of opinions, but I think it's naive.
naive to think that venture capital being injected into the development of Bitcoin wouldn't change the goals a little bit.
Very fair statement.
So is Blockstream's goal to generate profit or to increase the value of Bitcoin? So we actually have green address also, the consumer wallet, the mobile wallet. But yeah, largely right now, all of our stuff is free. We're mainly focused on R&D. We have been very focused on R&D. We'll have Liquid coming out early next year, hopefully, fingers crossed. And that will be a commercial service that will generate revenue. But the goal is everything will generate revenue. It's not just we're going to build stuff free forever.
Now getting back to Bitcoin next.
That is fair. Shill is more of an ad hominem. I'm going to avoid saying that because I've just been peeved. But point being is that he just saw how they plan on making money. The goal is for everything to make money. Like,
So that was a very reasonable statement by Samson Mao.
very reasonable. I mean, if you're a startup, it's a very reasonable statement. Yes, but
And he literally says, right now everything's free. We're putting in more research and development. We're gonna probably have lots of streams of income. Liquid's gonna launch, and I don't understand what the problem there is, because like the other thing I forgot to mention was when people come to me with complicated questions, I'm not gonna name any companies, and they're like, hey, I'm thinking of implementing this. I need some help with like, you know, like how do I implement Bitcoin payments? I connect them to Blockstream. I connect them.
do you realize what he just said and his involvement with Blockstream? And this is the point of view we're getting. And do you understand, like, he literally is a headhunter for them? I don't know if that's the right word, but do you not see a conflict of interest in your opinions and how they directly line up with your financial incentives? Yeah, I'll give it to you that I want to make a good video, right? And I want to make it easier to understand. But, like, I'm not going to hide that from you guys. You guys can see through that. That's insane.
The people at Blockstream was like, hey, if you're looking for a consultant, these are probably your experts. You pay them what they ask, and it will get done. I just don't understand where the problem is. Like there's this.
Not to mention, like, Blockstream doesn't want you to know this either. One of their Chain Code Labs is one of their other consultation companies that came in after 2015. I think it was right around when the block stuff was going on. But it was Suhas Daftar, I think is his name, and he owns Hudson River Trading, and that is a high-frequency trading firm. Now, it's not very clear exactly I know they maintain the reference implementation, but they're hiring, and it's very hard to find out how they actually make money. I know they're a consultation company, but when I hear about I don't want to get too conspiratorial about someone running a high-frequency trading thing, but like the way I've looked into that company too, it just doesn't. It should be transparent how you're making money. If you're involved in an open source project, you shouldn't be hiding your intentions or downplaying them in any way. That's deceptive.
This assumption that you have to profit directly from the Bitcoin fees, but that's not true.
What are you even talking about, Tom?
Yeah, I mean, he's trying to make a case where he's trying to make them seem really evil from sort of
Yeah.
like a very socialist perspective. Like, oh my God, these people
I'm not going to refresh the video.
are profiting. Oh, how evil they must be that they're trying to profit, and that you know, therefore they must have an agenda, and they're all evil and stuff like that. It's
No one's evil. They just want to make money, dude.
you know, this is the same caricature that Roger Ver's been giving of.
Yeah, Roger Ver definitely had a massive influence over me making this video. Not that I didn't sift through hundreds of Reddit threads, looked at how many deleted comments there were. Like, the problem here is when you act like you know exactly what happened, when you have a financial incentive in the other direction.
Of Blockstream for years now, and this guy seems to have.
And for the record, Satoshi deserves to own his Bitcoin project. Like, he wasn't able to, what's it called? Because after a year, I believe, goes by, you can't patent it. So I think this is just another way of patenting it if you do have some large influence over it. I don't think it's 100% absolute.
Fallen for it, hook, line, and sinker. I'm not sure if he was paid for it or if
Okay, go look at my Twitter. I was not paid for this.
he's doing it voluntarily.
Let's move on. We can talk about that later. So speaking of evil, let's talk about Bitcoin XT.
15. If Gavin was successful in getting 75% of the miners to come with him, there would be no point in developing sidechains, and Blockstream's investors would probably be pretty upset. This was a coup, because not only would this force block...
I know for a fact Blockstream's investors would not be upset at all.
Yeah.
Why would Blockstream's investors not be upset if the entire project was given over to someone else? That, like, if there's a new core team of developers that a lot of your people that you've invested money into are not going to follow into that new project, then, and if transactions are increased, what incentive is there for transactions to go off chain if you're not going to hit that limit for a long time? What? And the point here too is, if this, like, part of me is like, okay, you can. I hear a dog outside. Hold on.
Well, I mean, and
thank you.
And not to mention that they were like way over.
And I'm not saying Roger's perfect either. I don't think anyone in this space is. You guys, it's like pick your choose your character, man.
Oversubscribed for their initial raise. Like there were people knocking down their door trying to get in on that round. Like they wanted to be an investor in Blockstream so bad.
This was before the bubble happened too. Why would they be knocking down the door?
But you know, I mean, they just sort of closed it. Like you were they seem to make it sound like, oh, these investors would be so upset if they pivoted to something else. That's not
okay. If your main product, okay, let me ask you, chat. If your main product, like you're an investor, you invest in a company, and that product isn't going to have nearly as much demand, and your people that you're hiring aren't even on the development team anymore, would you be pretty upset if you invested $21 million? Hey, J-Par, man. Like, I see you in chat, man. I don't think, like, look, do your own research. I'm not saying any coin is perfect. I'm not saying anything's going to make you rich. And that's the difference here. I'm not trying to sell you a dream or get you to invest in anything. That's the difference. Yes.
not it at all.
People were cheering this on in his chat.
Like, if you know anything about the VC industry, you invest in the talent and the people that you're investing in. And this was an amazing team that they were investing in. I mean,
I mean, how would they know that if he's never touched the
had people like Adam Back, Greg Maxwell, Andrew Polstra.
Oh yes, Drake.
Peter Wooler.
Jake Berg,
like, I mean, you don't get a company with that kind of talent very often. And when like, you just throw money at them and see if they can be successful doing something. So there was a huge demand. Like the motivations there are like, make sense if you're kind of like a socialist kind of person and you kind of have an idea. And for noobs, this might sound convincing, but if you know anything about what actually happened, it's not the case at all. Like,
look at that duper's delight, dude. Right on his face.
There were people knocking their doors down to invest in this company.
In new projects, yes, new tech, people are always wanting to throw money into it aggressively because it's like Tencent, I believe, not Tencent, SoftBank is a company that does that. They just pour capital into tech startups. I don't doubt that the same thing was there, but you still have to make a pitch. You still got to show them how you're going to make money. How does this disprove that Adam Back is not Satoshi Nakamoto? Why are we 51 minutes into this video? Like, the entire buildup and what they're doing is trying to make this guy's an idiot. This guy's an idiot. And then when they finally get to it, it's a lot easier to agree, without them having to make any hard points. But even they agreed that's one of the coincidences was a little bit sus.
And from my side, like I personally had many conversations with people that were involved in getting some of that money in. And the biggest demonizer, like the most evil name on the list of blockstream investors is, of course, AXA. I don't have any of them.
I didn't even bring up AXA. The chairman left. He was part of the Bilderberg group. And that's part of the conspiracy, too. I didn't even bring that up. I didn't think it was important. But there are a bunch of other investors. I think what's it called? Or it was like the chairman, and he's not involved with it anymore.
Their hats, unfortunately.
I totally could have brought that up. I didn't.
I think I had one at one point, but AXA was the big financial. First of all, they're mainly an insurance company, and they have a giant VC fund. Their VC fund is in the billions.
All right, I'm gonna fact check him here. Was AXA Partner Venture Capital? Thank you, Shannon. I don't know if it's in. Like, I just want to check that. Let's look at their companies. We can go way back to see. Blockstream, BioBeats, Goji, Hackajob. Let's see. Lyric, Nethos, Lessonly. I don't know any of these companies. I'll be fair. So I'll let him. I just don't feel like going through this right now. I'm sure. Hopefully he's, like I said, a broken clock is at least right twice a day. So hopefully he's right.
Millions of dollars. They put in something like 50 million or 5 million. I don't remember.
I believe the first round of funding was 21 million and the second was like 50 to 55.
I think he flashed a list. I know there were fives involved. And AXA put in, oh my God, they put in 55 million. They put in 55 million out of like a $10 billion pool. Like,
how does that make any difference at all? How does that make any difference? Just because they have more money. Just because they have more money. How does 55 million being injected into the development of Bitcoin not change the goals? ASMR.
Like, they literally put in the most.
All right, G. Later, G.
Most minimal amount that they didn't give a shit about. Trust me, there's no representative of AXA at the Blockstream office telling them what to do.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you have that much leverage as...
Do you guys want me to get to the main points, or do you guys want questions? Like, I understand, like, this is getting a bit repetitive. Do you want me to go towards the end of the video? We'll skip ahead. I think I made my point here. Or do you want me to just keep going? You guys enjoying listening to this? Type 1. Or we'll do a straw poll. We'll do a straw poll. Main points. All right, let's create poll. You decide. What should we do? Continue bit by. Get to the part about my third video, and yeah, I'm just gonna assume if you don't want to, then you can dipset, but. All right, we'll go through it a little bit quicker. Okay.
As a startup, like, you don't need to give up a board seat or any.
From our general knowledge of dollars before it started mooning. From our general
life, that's like
ASMR.
That's so against the whole spirit of Bitcoin and what it was about, that all of the core devs were pretty much like, well, first of all, I don't like working with Mike. And second,
I will give them this. Mike Hearn was not someone who was well liked in the development team. But I don't think that Gavin had bad intentions. And I don't think he was perfectly selfless either, but I don't think that, I think he wanted to let the people decide what they wanted to do. But Mike Hearn definitely was a little bit more explosive dude, and I can understand why other developers would be concerning in that regard. But at the same time, if you go through, the reason that Mike was so obsessed with scaling Bitcoin is that Satoshi Nakamoto had a long correspondence with him, right? About how data centers would be kind of the future, basically, and how they had unlimited scalability. So this guy was told from Satoshi himself, Mike Hearn. So when these people were like adding this limit, you can understand why he felt that way, right? And why he was probably so much more outspoken is because he was talking with Satoshi specifically, and he probably didn't, I don't know if he knew if Adam was him. So that's probably why he was so upset. And everyone said he rage quit and all that other stuff. I don't agree with the way they did things, but I will say that I understand both sides of where they're coming from. Some people think they're doing what's right, and some people want to profit off of it. I don't think that there's, I think there's definitely a power struggle. Both people had ulterior motives.
I don't think this is a good idea, and it's against the whole spirit of it. So I don't know what else to say than to like characterize it better than this video is doing, which is like, oh, it was this altruistic fork. No, it was by this belly aching, not very good developer.
Okay, who are you to judge whether he was a not good developer? I know Mike Hearn wasn't the most in terms of commits, but Gavin had sole custody over, like, he was the one that Satoshi left it to. So if you're not, like, Gavin, it's hard for me, like, I want to play devil's advocate here. What ulterior motive would Gavin have had? I feel like something had to push the guy. Something had to push him to want to do that. And when I read through those chat logs, which they're going to talk about here in a bit, you'll see.
Trying to take over the whole network as a dictator.
That the code...
The benevolent dictator thing, like, I believe many projects use that. And despite the name and how, absolute power, it just means that someone is the one who's the go-to in terms of, like, making changes happen. Now, I'm not saying that's the absolute best thing for Bitcoin, but what I am saying is that it's convenient that you would say that when you have a Blockstream hoodie on.
Of Bitcoin XT, as it was first released by Mike Hearn, had it was like banning IPs and like blocking
That was true.
Addresses or something. Like there was like censorship in the code.
That's not what I define as censorship, but I do know what he's referring to.
Well, I mean, he was benevolent dictator for life. He could do whatever he wanted.
But that's kind of the point of a fork.
He wanted to be Jerome Powell or something, essentially.
Jerome Powell? No, Tether wants to be Jerome Powell.
It was just such...
The real BTC with their friends, we made it along the way. Here's the equivalent of Freedom Coin. Give it a few years. 1,000,000x ROI. Sign up now. Bye.
Such an insane idea. And to characterize that...
Do you want to live the best life? Drive a Lambo. Just give me your fucking money.
As a good idea like this video does, just tells me that this guy doesn't understand Bitcoin at all.
Now,
just doesn't understand Bitcoin at all.
I was a noob back then, man. I mean, 2015, summer of 2015, I was a noob. And I was on Freedom's Phoenix podcast, and Ernie became, he got persuaded by the dark side of Roger. And I've been trying to explain to him this stuff. Like, this is if anyone has seen these interviews. Unfortunately, I went to the historical archive, and all historical archive videos are...
Once again, how does any of this debunk my video, dude? We're an hour in. Jesus.
I think it was like a censorship issue or something, because he's very libertarian. So I'll message the show, and I'll try to get my very first public interview about Bitcoin XT. I was very vocal against it, and I was a noob, and it was obvious to me. This is... I think Blockstream already formed, but I didn't know Adam back then. I was a nobody back.
I wonder if someone can fact check what he just said. Did he know Adam back in 2015?
I was a guy on a World Crypto Network talking about price. I never had any contact with anyone this is like me. I was like, oh my god, I'm meeting Andreas Antonopoulos face. So this is
okay. Andreas Antonopoulos has a really interesting video. That we should talk about. Will you guys remind me that later? Definitely remind me about that later. Oh, I just opened my stream on my phone. All right, cool. All right, next one.
This is before I was any.
Luna requires assistance. What's up, Luna? Quinn. I know Quinn. Let me open my live stream on YouTube. This way I can. I think you guys need a mod or something. Whoops. Slightly lost here. What's the point is trying to make? If this is getting redundant, you guys said for me to continue, but the whole point here is we're getting back to the shilling that is going on in terms of the cryptocurrency community is trying to protect Adam, is my point. And they're willing to lie and say anything to push this false narrative. And I'm just giving my take on it. Yes. Don't skip. Yeah, can't debunk something. Just keep beating around the bush until people are tired and switch it off. Exactly. I'm going to add mod to him. And Zen, I trust you too. All right, cool.
Anybody, and I was debating against Bitcoin XT. Anyway, let's move on.
On a small side note, I managed to dig up some of the private conversations that were taking place in June of 2015. One of the really interesting logs I found came from June 16th of that year. In the months leading up to Gavin Making's proposal, he was trying to raise the block size for a very long time. Blockstream CEO Adam Back was acting like they were in favor of increasing the block size.
Jeff Garzik. So there's a difference between acting rational and manipulating people. And I think that was what I inferred from this chat log that in the video. I think people could infer it differently, but we'll read through it.
But they were just acting like you need to go through the consensus process.
When you know people's positions and you're just telling them to go do something and it's the outcome anyways, you're just saving face. And that's what I took from it. I was inferring that.
But they essentially would never get back to Gavin. They were fully aware that this would never reach consensus among the 5 developers with commit access.
Okay, so do you see how fastly he flashes all those messages?
Yeah, because you can't just pause the video. Do you want me to just have the same message on screen for 24/7? No. It's an editing tactic. It's not for deception. It's not to be like, oop, you didn't look quick enough.
Now he does say there is a link in the video description. Unfortunately, I didn't have the time to go through that link of those messages.
Oh.
But what I did do, and I spent a significant amount of time doing, is taking screenshots of the videos. And I compared the message he highlighted, read it, and the messages around that message.
Okay, code has to be written.
And this is incredible. Barely Sociable has a complete misunderstanding of what is actually happening here, staring and reading the evidence. So let's just go through it. Here's the one he highlighted. But thanks to Garzik, Jeff Garzik, for helping steer the conversation to a BIP review-oriented approach. Something that...
How does any of this debunk my video, dude? Oh, I'm getting tired of it.
Open source development is. Hopefully...
My point is, if you know the outcome, and if Gavin was trying to do this for a while, and it's 2020, and they still haven't reached a consensus on this topic, and he was talking about it in 2015, it's like you're trying to buy time to do your sidechains.
We'll have a few more bips.
You're assuming that he's being completely honest. And I don't know if Adam Back is perfectly honest. You guys tell me.
And can review it in the context of decentralization plan. So this is basically Adam Back. He's Barely Sociable is picking out this comment to demonize it. When in reality,
it's not meant to demonize. It's meant to show an example that he was just telling him he needed to go through the BIP process, like I said.
In reality, this is Adam Back saying, this is how open source works. Let's have some of these things. Let's review them, and let's figure out.
This guy's got an ulterior motive, you guys.
If Bitcoin will stay decentralized, if we execute them. That's what the sentence is saying. Instead of Gavin saying, we have to do this change right now.
Yeah, and the fees in 2017 got up to $50 a transaction. Oof.
Yeah, it's and the thing is,
that's what I don't understand. People talk about Bitcoin going up to 20K again. You guys realize what that would have to, I'm not saying, Tether could print $1 million, $1 billion jillion tomorrow and pump the price. But when they say things like for Bitcoin to go back to 20K, you guys remember that it had like it's like $50 a transaction back then during the bubble, because obviously it's based on activity. Like, how is Bitcoin usable? This is why I lean more towards it. It's like, if you're intentionally putting off, coming to a conclusion with the block size, and I know there are security trade-offs there, but like we know that other forks have been able to do it. And it's like, if this is such a bad idea, just go attack the networks. Just go attack the other networks and consolidate all that wealth into Bitcoin, and you'll prove your point. But if you can't take down those other individual networks, it defeats the purpose. I'm not saying there's one ideal way to do everything, and I'm sure there's so many other technical things to look over here. But I totally want to like a total tangent there, but
they did get a BIP number, right? Like,
it's streamception, Kubi.
With a BIP draft, and there were multiple BIPs that were in contention, and so.
And this is why Blockstream would want to, like, think about this. Bitcoin is deflationary, you guys. So if you can stifle the amount of transactions going through, because you're more likely to hold on to it, like a dollar inflates, right? Meaning it's worth less over time. And you're more likely to spend that dollar because if it sits in the bank, it's not going to have as much buying power. People with Bitcoin, when they buy it and they can't actively trade it, you're incentivized to hold on to it longer, right? HODL. And when this happens, it deflates more because you think it's going to be worth more tomorrow. Makes sense? Store of value. This is the narrative that's being pushed. Now, Adam Back because of that, you're more likely to hold on to it, right? It actually will, emphasize those deflationary properties. And he gets to make money off of it not being able to scale. So if he has holdings and he hasn't sold yet, it's the smartest thing to do.
On. The thing that Gavin and Mike were really upset.
He did respond to me about that statement on Twitter. If you want to see his response, I don't want to misrepresent. Like, obviously, maybe like it's his project.
About was that their BIP didn't get through right away. It seemed, at least to me when I was going through it at the time, that they felt they had like an entitlement to be able to tell the rest of the core community what they should be doing, and that's just completely wrong.
Something tells me that Gavin wouldn't have gone to these extreme measures unless something else was going on. And in that chat log, apparently there's an email that I haven't been able to find where Gavin says, "Fuck you guys, I'm forking the network." And maybe that was the verb, it was like a paraphrase, but someone mentions that in the chat log of the video. That's linked down below. So something pushed Gavin to say, "Fuck you guys, I'm forking the network." Do you guys understand why I think Gavin had better intentions?
It's not how decentralized open source software development should work, or like you can't dictate to everybody what to do. And this is the famous comment that Gavin and Andreessen made around that time. I have to start throwing my weight around, as if he can just sort of bulldoze everybody and bully everybody into doing it. What Adam's saying here is, no, let's, thanks, Jeff, for starting this process. Let's go through it like, reasonable adults and, come to a consensus instead of just, letting Gavin do whatever the hell he wants, which is kind of what Gavin wanted.
So.
Like, I understand that's a fair point, and I'm willing to admit that. We don't know his pure intentions, but based on his track record, I don't think, like, other than the Craig Wright thing, that's just me, and that's what I inferred, and I think you guys could tell from the video.
Here's the thing. I'm going to try to read this real quick. I don't think we're going to focus on Garzik because that was a disaster later on. But look, just go to the top of the screenshot. Like I said, I didn't prove how Gavin was right and Adam was wrong.
I think you guys get the general gist of this. I highly recommend you go read through it yourself. Just have your own opinion. Like, in terms of this, it's not deceptive if I'm linking the exact same thing.
I'm replying to Gavin. There are multiple questions, but that is not the issue. What kind of issue could be and is being hashed out in the technical discussions? Example with Garzik's BIP.
So
Gavin,
yes,
I think this is not just Peter Todd.
Hi, Supreme.
It seems to be
we're gonna skip. We can come back to any part if you guys want later. Let's find.
8 hours.
They made me wait through all of this and didn't let me talk.
Why wouldn't people just go somewhere else? Well, when you consider that both Bitcoin Talk and r/Bitcoin were the only main discussion boards with any traffic, and they're both owned by the same person, and that person may or may not have had financial dealings with Blockstream, and the thing you're...
Can we just stop right there?
Yeah, I love the subtle, like, may or may not have.
Right. So
Yeah, he may or may not have. He may or may not have. Like, there's...
and this person may or may not have had financial dealings with Blockstream. So
Just like Tone Vays definitely does have financial dealings with Blockstream.
here's
As
how
a
that
headhunter,
sounds.
he told us earlier.
Imagine right now I go like this.
I feel like I'm getting harpy. Like, I think you guys get the point. Saki Sanobashi? I think you're thinking of Saki Sanobashi. That's the anime, the deep web
Jimmy?
anime.
It's time for you to go, man. I have to kick you off the stream. You can't come on my show anymore. I just realized that you are Korean, and you may or may not have had financial dealings with Kim Jong-un. He's North Korean, you're South Korean, but hey, you never know. You may or may not have had financial dealings.
Okay, when you control both platforms, you have centralized power over discussion, okay? You have centralized power over discussion, and you associate with these people that are, you know, frequently in IRC chats. Are you kidding me, dude? This is the kind of shilling we're dealing with, man. Okay, I shouldn't say that. But this is the kind of, like,
So
if it fits your narrative. Tone Vays said he liked my series at part 1. But when I got to part 3, that's when that didn't align with my beliefs. So I'm gonna make
there you go. There's
so I'm gonna talk to Adam back and then, you know, make this video.
connection.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a real cheap shot and a film technique of like just sort of like dropping a hint and sort of running away without any evidence. And
We come back to it later.
that's when you know you're like facing propaganda.
Dude, the fucking layers of irony. It's so fucking ironic. That's how you know you're facing propaganda.
Because he's so desperate for this narrative arc that he has to drop little things like that to make Thamos.
Just like you guys are so desperate to disprove my video that you guys have every single person write and say that the video surfaced on Reddit, that, you know, that I only linked them together with double spacing after a period. You know, oh man, I fucking hate politics.
Even relevant to this discussion, because honestly, the whole
We are an hour and a half in, and this has nothing to do with debunking Adam back. Holy cow.
censorship thing doesn't matter, and like a lot of the right around that time,
It's projection, yeah.
like a lot of the conversations were moving to Twitter anyway. I mean, this when a lot of people opened Twitter accounts for that reason. It was the discussion on like Bitcoin Talk was dying down. There were way too many altcoin scams being shown on our
Yeah, on August 15th, 2015, there's a difference between spam and banning Bitcoin XT. Like, that is a very specific proposal.
Bitcoin. Stuff like Factom and Ethereum were posting their.
And get this too. They later said that you can discuss proposals, but you can't discuss Bitcoin XT. And I'm like, the proposal is in Bitcoin XT. So you can talk about the proposal. They said that later when, oh God. And not to mention, they would leave up the threads where Bitcoin XT nodes were getting like hit offline. It's like those police brutality videos to show you like what we're doing. It's like they left those threads up.
Like literally every couple of minutes, and then the promoters of those would upvote them to infinity. This is why the censorship actually had to happen, was because those coins were actually taking over both of those channels.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll probably be like, he didn't watch the whole video. You skipped over that.
It was moderation, and it was very clear moderation. And imagine what was happening at that time. This is where shitcoins were starting to pop up left and right. Like, what's her name? Is it J.K. Rowling's?
See, you impose restrictions on discussion right when there's something that's crucial to be voted on. No. And if so, You would provide an alternative outlet for them. You know, it's like, go somewhere else. We're not going to give you that other place. But like, if this is censorship-free money, like, and everyone's supposed to have some contribution, like, why? How can you even make an informed decision if you cannot discuss the topic? That's like saying you need to vote on the best political candidate, right? But you're not allowed to know anything about them, or you're only not allowed to know like one side.
Harry Potter.
Yeah, Rowling.
She sent out a tweet today. I don't understand Bitcoin. Maybe someone can explain it to me.
Thank you, Luther.
And she had over 2,000 replies to her tweet.
What did K Supreme say? Yeah, I know, man.
I didn't look at any of them, but I can just picture it in my mind how 1,800 out of the 2,000 are telling her how Factum is better than Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of was the case, right? Like there were all these like altcoin promoters that were trying to get in her ear because they know, like, you know, like
this happens today.
They can't tell, right? Like he's making the case. Oh well, how can anyone make an informed decision on a site that's censored? Well, I mean, how is anybody like that's new supposed to know anything about like the difference between Ethereum, Bitcoin, you know, a MadeSafe coin, Factum, and Mastercoin, which were all like trying to post there all the time. Like, that.
If you go on Bitcoin Talk, they have a whole section. Like when you announce an altcoin, they have a section for that. So why is r/Bitcoin any different? Like if you wanted to start an ICO a while ago, you had to post there. Like people would always ask, "Where's your Bitcoin Talk post?" So like, why Reddit? Why would you just ban it on Reddit? Doesn't make sense.
That's even worse, right? Like without censorship of some kind.
And they had a clear policy. There's no altcoins being discussed in this Bitcoin channel. And Bitcoin XT was going to be a fork and an altcoin, just like Bcash was going to be a fork and an altcoin, just like Bitcoin Unlimited and Bitcoin Classic, if anyone remembers that one. Okay.
All right, I'm getting tired of this. I've listened to his voice for way too long. I'm going to go to the end.
Any threads started to pop up that someone was attacking Bitcoin XT nodes. Kicking them offline made them
Jimmy says you know a lot.
unable to vote. Bitcoin XT was supposed to reach.
Let's go to the Adam back part.
If you recall from part 2, I stated that Satoshi was either trying to throw us off the trail at every given opportunity, or the clues should be taken at face value. As it turns out, he didn't go to that great of lengths to hide his identity. The first clues that we
If an idea is so bad technically, then you should be able to prove it, okay? You shouldn't have to censor it. Simple as that.
should take a look at are which technical documents
If that's the route that you have to go through,
were used to create Satoshi's white paper. There are only 2 core ideas that were infused into the creation of Bitcoin. Sure, you had a lot of applied cryptography and other aspects of the project, but the main 1,000-foot inspiration was the B-Money proposal, as outlined all of the ideas for a digital ledger that we see in the blockchain. And the second component was the proof-of-work system, also known as Hashcash. This is used in the Bitcoin mining function and is used to verify all of our transactions. The person who invented Hashcash was Adam Back, Blockstream CEO. And throughout this video, you may have noticed I put some importance on Blockstream's attachment to a lot of the things that were
it's to discredit me, you guys. I've been dealing with this all week. And it's not just like I'm like not able to take criticism. It's like so infuriating, especially because I put so much work into this.
going on in 2015. So let's take a look at
Wait,
this.
can we pause right there?
Bitcoin Classic, I believe that's a 2 megabyte limit. While back,
Because I want to cut.
I don't know that one off the top of my head.
Like I don't think this guy understands the like actual technical details. He claims that the only 2 precedents that were needed were B-Money and Hashcash. That's just not technically.
I said there's a lot of aspects of applied cryptography to the project, and B-Money and Hashcash were the inspirations. They're not sorry. B-Money was the inspiration. Hashcash was the proof of work system used in it. True.
You needed other so reusable proof of work, which
That came out in 2004. Adam Back worked on Hashcash in 1998, and then released I think he like re-released it in 2002, or 1997 back then. So reusable proof of work was Hal Finney's proof of work system. So the fact that like it's interesting that like and it was I'll let him talk.
incorporated Hashcash into.
And there's an email on the Cypherpunks mailing list from like 2004 to 2005 where he talks about I think it was BitGold. And this is Hal Finney who talked about it. And he said he was going to give a talk about it as well. So, like, yes, I think that Hal Finney was onto the same thing, but we know he worked on Bitcoin. So, like, we know his involvement. I don't know how anyone thinks that guy is a candidate. just because Dorian lives a couple miles away or a few blocks away. Like occasionally, like, you know, maybe he was in on it.
It was an important component, and then Nick Szabo improved that to bit gold. So really,
okay, Nick Szabo, he talked about bit gold in 2008. He asked about coding it up. I believe by that time Satoshi had already finished it. He was starting work on it in 2007. Nick Szabo doesn't code in C++. Nick Szabo is a professor, I believe, in Washington, and that doesn't line up with all of the posts that you have, and the what's it called, metadata from the white papers. Doesn't add up. It's not Nick Szabo.
Really, what you needed was something closer to bit gold, plus the idea of a block of a blockchain with you know, some sort of a fixed limit that goes asymptotic that needed those. So to suggest like
beware the FBI goons, yeah, well,
he has no technical understanding, because you can't claim Hashcash and B money were enough to create Bitcoin.
Can someone fill in people, like if you see someone coming in, can you fill them in on what's going on?
That's not true. It's like from a technical standpoint, you can go watch my videos where I read through all of those things. It's not true. It's just like it's just kind of like saying 2 + 2 is 5. It's just not right.
Yeah,
and,
it's exactly
I
like
mean,
that.
If he thinks like he's a filmmaker and he knows that this is going out to kind of a lay audience, so they'll sort of trust him on this. But I'm going to tell you, as somebody that knows the technology, this is not true. He's just not right here.
Can you explain why I'm not right?
All right. Oh, by the way, I do want to add that I spent half my day on Thursday messaging with Adam Back. I mean.
Oh.
Satoshi. No, I'm kidding. And I tried to get him to come on the show, but Adam is absolutely right. Anything he says on this show will be used out of context, the way the Samson Mao interview was. So Adam is going to be a little bit careful. It's probably why he didn't come to the Having show.
Look, whatever Adam's going to do, he's going to do. Whether people know who he is or not, you know, whether he retired and whether he has to receive criticism for his project, you know, dude, it's such layers of deception. It's insane.
Unfortunately,
Adam could easily disprove just by showing the emails. Or someone could go ask GMX. I don't know if they'd give that out, though.
At the worst possible time. And it's unfortunate. Adam was supposed to come on the Having show. He did not. And that's because he's right. I mean, Adam texted me a lot of stuff. I shared it with Jimmy. We may or may not share it. But Adam is right. Anything he says will be used out of context. And they're going to micro twist.
You guys, if Adam came on here and genuinely wanted to disprove his identity, do you think I would press him? Do you think I would harass him outside of that? The only time I'll make jokes is when you're obviously trying to feed me BS. But if you came on here, do you think that I would ask genuine questions, and if you can like answer what you were doing during that time, it would put all this to rest, dude. It's so simple. You don't have to make 3-hour videos discrediting me. It's amazing.
Every syllable he says.
Listen to Wei Dai, and in this message, Satoshi was reaching out because he wanted to get the date of publication for Wei Dai's B Money. The email reads, I was very interested to read your B Money page. I'm getting ready to release a paper that expands on your ideas into a complete working system. Adam Back at hashcash.org noticed the similarities and pointed me to your site. This email implies another message was sent to Adam Back. But what's interesting here is that Satoshi supposedly corresponded with him, but there's no evidence to ever suggest that. We have correspondence between Satoshi and basically everyone else except for Adam Back. When Adam has been asked about it, he'll always virtue signal.
Did you know that Adam Back was sued by Craig Wright? Right? Because Adam Back called Craig Wright a fraud. And then Craig Wright dropped the case and refunded him all of the legal fees. And I think I'll give him that. Craig Wright is legally Satoshi. But like the whole point there is, that's very interesting, huh?
And say that he would delete or shred any evidence. That's interesting that you want to protect Satoshi in this case, but when someone who obviously isn't Satoshi, like Paul LaRue, makes a headline, you'll spread obvious misinformation. That's incredibly convenient, because after going down this rabbit hole, I'm convinced that he knows.
Wait. Again, like, you gotta pause these screenshots because they're bullshit.
What's bullshit? What? Sorry, what was bullshit?
So yeah,
I don't think he knows either.
Adam has never released any communication between himself and Satoshi.
Everyone else has.
Maybe one day he will.
Maybe one day he'll, go write a fake email, make it look nice and real. I'm sure if he can make Bitcoin, he can make some fake emails.
Well, maybe he doesn't even exist. I don't know.
I don't know. So he doesn't know. So you meant 3 hours discrediting me, just to say that.
Here's the thing, right?
Or 2 hours.
Wired writes, who created Bitcoin?
It's amazing that despite all the articles written about like other obvious candidates who are not Satoshi Nakamoto, mine, when an article came out, can't get added to Wikipedia. Think about that, you guys. Mine is not allowed to. They locked the Wikipedia.
And I guess they named someone. And Adam
but Paul LaRue
replied, another speculative Satoshi candidate reached inconclusive, but Breaking Bad for like this is basically Adam saying, guys, this is a horrible article. That's not him. How is this FUD?
Yeah, or how's that revealing that he had he had communications with somebody else, or that he revealed emails of somebody else?
It's like that one saying in certain like TV shows, when a person, like if you don't see the body, you might be able to assume that character gets out alive. And the same thing on the opposite, vice versa. If you've never seen the emails, I don't know if that was the right analogy, but if you've never seen the emails, you can't prove they exist.
Like, that's not what that message says, and that's
right,
what the filmmaker is making it say.
And listen how barely sociable explains Adam's tweet.
Always virtue signal and say that he would delete or shred any evidence. That's interesting that you want to protect Satoshi in this case, but when someone who obviously isn't Satoshi, like Paul LaRue, makes a headline, you'll spread obvious misinformation. That's incredibly...
So you want to protect Satoshi. Dude, what? What? Are you serious, dude? Jesus Christ, man. Thank you, Dr. Monkey. 10 out of 10 content you with high quality. Hazard Squad. Dude. Thanks for the dono, man. 500 euros. That's insane. That's a lot of money, man. Especially in like times like this. Whew. Thank you, dude. Wow.
How is that obvious, Mr.? How is that? Anyway, I can't.
Because after going down this rabbit hole, I'm convinced that emails never existed in the first place. The day that B-Money was announced, it didn't get any attention. There's only about 9 discussion threads in the cryptography mailing list about this B-Money proposal, and 2 of them are about the link being broken. This paper...
Can we get some love in the chat for Dr. Monkey? And the other guy who donated earlier, I believe his name... Let me find him. Top chat. You guys, thank you. Can we get some just hearts in the chat for everyone, particularly those donations? I appreciate it. I would do this for free. Honestly, it's fun.
The paper was so obscure that the person who actually wrote about it was Adam Back. Don't get it twisted. Wei Dai definitely wrote the paper, but Adam Back copied the paper onto the cryptography mailing list and asked for feedback. In the next email in this thread, it basically outlines the entire thing. B-Money seems to be a book entry.
Another 500 if you do ASMR. We used to do like the rapping for donations. Like the beats and stuff.
The eCash system related to Hashcash, the book open and distributed. Anonymity is derived from the fact that participants can be pseudonymous. Hashcash would be a good candidate function for Wei's decentralized minting idea. To create value, you burn CPU time, just like Hashcash. But Wei's distributed open book entry system allows you to pseudonymously exchange value. So here we directly see that Adam just said that B-Money would be a candidate for Hashcash, and even mentions that pseudonyms would be a great way to get money out anonymously. I've looked through all the discussion on B-Money on the various mailing lists.
You guys are great.
And most people didn't even like the idea. Now, if you're wondering whether Adam Back could have pulled it off, I would say 100%.
Okay, so before we get to that, so here, Barely Sociable makes the case that Adam Back was the only one interested in B-Money, to the point where he's the one that put it on the Bitcoin mailing dev list. And yet, Adam Back didn't know the date of publication.
Just because okay, if you're writing a paper in 2008 and you learned about a paper a while ago, do you know exactly when that paper was released off the top of your head? Do you know when, To Kill a Mockingbird was published? Like that's so stupid. That this is like a red herring. I don't know if it's even the right thing to say. Just completely. What?
That he needed to email Wei Dai to find out when he published B-Money. Do you guys see the insane logic here?
Yeah, not only that.
I do see the insane logic.
How Finney made reuse.
By the way, thanks Jimmy Song and Tone Vays for prompting me to do this live stream. I really appreciated it.
Usable proof of work, which took a lot of that same idea.
I'm glad that I can come on without any preparation and defend my creation.
From Waydai's B-Money and Hashcash and put it together, right? There's at least another person that did the same thing. Nick Szabo improved it with...
Okay, BitGold, he didn't know how to code in C++. Jimmy Song, you know all this.
BitGold as well. So, he's spinning this narrative as if Adam Back's the only one that could possibly marry these particular two papers together. But again, that's factually...
Thank you, Chow.
Incorrect. Those aren't the only components that...
Okay, so, the other people that were involved, Nick Szabo, we can exonerate him in terms of, like, his capabilities, I've already explained it like a million times. Hal Finney, he denied it on his deathbed, you guys. Your Satoshi Nakamoto, he's in cryo freeze, I will admit that, for ALS. But, like, we know he worked on the project. We know he adjusted. We know he worked in the project. Why would he have to have two identities? Stupid.
I went into the Satoshi white paper. There were lots of other things that were predecessors to it, including Nick Szabo's BitGold, Hal Finney's reusable proof of work.
Which came out in 2004. So what doesn't it make sense, though, that the creator of Bitcoin, if you need a proof of work system, the one that you're going to be most familiar with is the one that you created, and you're going to integrate that one.
For all predecessors. And like he's making this case and like just cherry picking little data points to make it seem like he has a stronger case than he does, and he just simply doesn't. There were lots of other people that were looking at this stuff.
Okay.
Like B-Money was referenced in other papers before this. And
what papers is it referenced in?
It's just kind of insane.
What papers is B-Money referencing?
That he thinks that these two are the only components that are needed in order to
I didn't say that.
Create Bitcoin. It's not. And he seems to like sort of discount all of the other things that went into it and all.
The reason I discount them is because I looked into them and I ruled them out. It doesn't. If I was to sit here and say no, that's not that, it's not that, it's not that, you would have a 4-hour, 10-hour long video. That's like he didn't weigh every single possibility and add them into the video just to discredit them. Therefore, he didn't think of them. I did.
The other technology.
Hearing you say Hashcash has been worthless. Thank you, Kubi. I appreciate it, man. Love your content. Please. It definitely sets the mood. Thank you.
That were necessary in order to create it.
Hashcash. It's a pretty dope ass name. I will give him that. It's a pretty dope name. Like, look.
The guy has a PhD in distributed computing systems, which would be the perfect background for building a decentralized computer network. Bitcoin was coded in C++, and
I think one thing that a lot of people took away from the wrong prompt, the guy still invented Bitcoin. No one can ever take that away from you. That's a fucking cool invention. Just like, be transparent, dude. If it's so obvious, like, we'd prefer it if you told the truth. We don't care how much money you have. We don't care. Just be honest.
Adam codes proficiently.
All right, there's no such thing as a background in building a decentralized computer network.
Holy shit.
There's no...
If you have a PhD in distributed computing systems, you understand distributed computing systems. Oh my god. Which means you have an educated background in the subject. Stupidity.
No one has that. It's a miracle we have Bitcoin, and that's it.
Yeah. And oh my gosh, Adam Back.
It's a miracle we have Bitcoin that literally costs $50 a transaction at 20K.
Must be the only C++ developer ever in the entire world.
I never said that.
Yeah.
In C++. Something you need to consider is that Satoshi Nakamoto is an inventor. He created a new piece of technology. And this guy was filing multiple patents a year up until April of 2005, and then he just...
Thanks for the content. Better source than evidence rather than hearsay. You guys would be surprised how many YouTubers just literally go read articles and just like literally like use articles word for word and call out a video. Like, that was a topic I'm considering. It's a pretty deep rabbit hole. Thank you, Lizzo. Yeah, thanks for the content. Honestly, I already read that. A nice voice. I can see you're a SoundCloud rapper. There's a story behind that, guys. It's not my normal personality.
Disappears until March 2010, which is a full year after Bitcoin was released. I looked through all of the mailing lists that his email was associated to.
I didn't really look into it, but he said...
All right, you guys, if Adam Back came up and said he was Satoshi Nakamoto, would you guys be upset with him? Like, you might be a little bit frustrated, but like, would anyone be able to take away the fact that he made Bitcoin? Would anyone be able to discredit him for that invention? Like, he could even just say it, you know, and not prove it, and just roll with it, you know. Like, I just don't see any harm in that. Offered. Yeah. You'd be disappointed, but like, dude, no one's perfect. You know, like, if someone made genuine attempts to try and make things like more transparent, and I like, no one would be mad at you unless you have something else to hide. And I think it's like when you spend your whole life running from things, and like, I don't know, maybe I'm inferring too much and reading too much into the guy, but like, if you're a cypherpunk, like, you're taught, like, if in your ideals, I would assume that everything's out to, you know, like, you have to cover your tracks. And I just don't. I understand like how he would become a focal point. My point is like, you guys know now. Too late. Thank you for prompting me to stream and monetize. Censorship by research. Yes, dude, Alexander. Thank you for all the donuts. Thank you guys for the. Like, we wouldn't be mad. Like, we would know it's your project, and look, if you wanted to be more transparent, we would be open to it, dude. It's just these people need a PR rep. I will literally be their PR rep, and just to fix that, because I care about the project. I like it, but my point is I'm not gonna let, just because I like Bitcoin doesn't mean I'm not gonna be critical of it. I like the idea. Like, it's just so frustrating to see when everything gets conflated. And maybe I'm not one to talk. You know, what do I have? What does my opinion matter? But I think a lot of people would agree with that. Maybe it's idealistic, but dude, I just own it, dude. Be sarcastic about it. It will go away.
If you went to March 2010 and he highlight February 2011, but like, again, this goes to the narrative. Like, if you're gonna put out a video like this and get 216,000 views, like, don't publicly say 2010 and then highlight 2011. Like, it's just like,
oh man, the video wasn't perfectly in line with the imagery, but it had the right wording. Oh, you are just a terrible video maker, man. How can you make a mistake? Satoshi doesn't make mistakes.
like,
Yeah, well, not only that, but I mean, I have some patents to my name, right? And I think the gap between the first and the second patent that I had was something like 13 years. That's not.
Could you have John McAfee?
That's completely not.
Tweet at John.
Like,
he'll come on.
That's completely normal.
I'll have John McAfee.
It's not unusual to have big gaps because usually you need a company.
Thank you, David Fisher. Time will prove them to be charlatans. Dude, anyone can turn a leaf for the better, man. Just because like you live long enough to be a villain doesn't mean that you can't genuinely like if they came out and say, hey, look, we want to be more transparent. This is what we're doing with the project. Yes, we are profiting off of it. This is exactly what we plan to do, but we want to provide value to you, the consumer, the retail investor that's using Bitcoin, then no one would have a problem with it. But if you're hiding these things, then those incentives might not be in line.
Company to pay for a patent. Patents are very expensive. They're like $20,000-$30,000 a year to get it from the beginning to the end. Most individuals can't afford that. So unless you have a company that's looking for a patent portfolio that's willing to pay you to create those patents, you're simply not going to have your name on a patent. That's how it is. I don't know Adam Back's work history, but it's entirely possible he switched jobs at some point, and then he had 5 years at a company where they weren't looking for a patent portfolio.
So they're saying that. Okay, I think you guys get it.
I don't want to dox Adam's personal life, but he does have kids, and I've met those kids. And I know how old they are. So there are other reasons why Adam Back could have taken a break around that time. Have you considered that?
You take 5 years off of work, right? And you have the perfect profile. Okay, I want to say statistically, what are the odds that someone has this kind of education in 2008, where, this background, he has the same writing style, he has the same his origin, we presume to be British, and he goes dormant. Like, what are the odds that all of these things are true? And not to mention what we'll get to later on. It's just, Discrediting it one bit by bit doesn't.
It's so ridiculous.
He was dormant from 07 until 2010. He was also not writing any academic papers during this time. According to Adam Back, Satoshi supposedly even sent him the software once it was released.
Then why didn't Adam Back say I was doing something then? Like, it's amazing how defensive.
But according to him, he shrugged it off and didn't mine a single Bitcoin. Adam has never provided proof of these emails either. Now I know you're thinking, well, maybe Adam didn't have any interest in anonymous payments anymore. After all, that was back in 1998.
Look, he made a mistake. Everyone should still go be really positive towards the guy. Look, I don't care whether you like Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash more. Just go fucking, we need some, like, I think maybe that's what he's, like, he's afraid everyone's going to vilify him or something. I don't know, dude. Maybe I'm just being idealistic.
But here's the thing. Around 2007, right when Satoshi started on Bitcoin's development, if you read Adam Back's Wikipedia page, which he wrote himself, it reads, he has an interest in privacy technology and electronic cash. So you had time to update your Wikipedia information, stating that you're interested in anonymous payment systems.
Okay, I'm going to say this right now. I'm not trying to pump Nano or anything like that. But out of all the politics I've seen, the Nano people have been the nicest. I'm just going to say that. I'm going to say the Nano people have been the I haven't researched it. For all I know, do not invest your money without doing your own research. But those people have been the nicest.
Right when Satoshi started development on Bitcoin, but when Satoshi finally figured out how to do something that you planned on doing since 1998, you don't even bother to open the software? How convenient. It's not like you were busy during this time. Call me crazy, but if we dive deeper into Adam Back, more coincidences just start lining up.
I will say, when you put all of that together, it's interesting.
We got one point, you guys. Let's give Tone Vays a clap for admitting I made a good point. One clap. Can we even like do that? Or a salute. 07 in the chat.
Well, okay, so he's saying something that he can't know, like that Adam Back wasn't doing anything with his time. How the hell do you know that?
Because he wasn't doing anything in terms of research and development like he normally does and has a consistent track record doing. And when you see that, that's an anomaly. So why wouldn't you just say I was busy moving, or I was, like dealing with some stuff personal? Anything is better than that, man. Even if you're gonna lie, at least it leaves some room for doubt.
Were you there? Were you watching?
More power to your elbow, mate. Fan here. Oh god, Nano people, they tip me on Twitter. It's super cool. I really like that bot.
Watching him?
I know every other currency has it too, though.
How do you know what the hell he was doing? I mean, this is complete.
Well, I know what he wasn't doing.
Speculation, and it's just sort of like speculation in a direction that happens to be convenient for the filmmaker's story arc. And it's like, dude, like if you're busy with something, if you're doing another project, that's entirely possible that you don't have time to go look at it. And remember,
there's so many other things I could have got into, like the company he was working for before Decho. I mean, like I don't want to like. Basically, Satoshi had a bunch of time zones that were linked, involved, like with the white paper draft. I believe one of them was in Pacific time zone, and one of the companies he worked at, Pi Corp, had a place in Seattle. And then Decho had an office, I believe, in R&D in Utah, which is Mountain time zone. So that's like the last we know. I think that the R&D offices, they had Montreal, Utah, and Seattle.
Remember when Satoshi released that code into the Cypherpunk mailing list, very few people were interested. In fact, Hal Finney was one of the few people that actually downloaded it and actually ran the software.
Bitcoin should be vilified? Yeah, I mean, there's the mining, like the effects on the environment. I know there's a different argument there, but oh man, I don't know if we can dodge any touchy subjects. I think any industry, though, to be fair, Bitcoin, I'm not going to vilify entirely because, like, I believe even just like the, what is it? The dairy industry, like just many industries are bad for the environment.
Met with widespread skepticism. He showed an email earlier saying with some.
Excuse me.
Somebody saying that, oh, this might not scale, so I'm not going to look at it. Adam's reading this very same.
Do I ever do any crowdsourced research? I ask for help from my Discord, so if you guys ever want to hop in there. When I do research things, I'm like, hey, I'll just ask questions for a second opinion. But usually if you have enough sample data. But most of the stuff I do, I just sit down and get absorbed in the topic and just have some coffee and just enjoy it.
List and saying,
if it's something you enjoy, it's not work.
He sent it to me, but these people are saying this. I don't have time for it. like to completely speculate and say, oh,
That's not speculate.
he wasn't doing anything else at the time.
This is like I built an online profile for him. I built a background. I built everything that you would need, and I established a motive too. So like it's literally just, I think the term is digital forensics. Is that even right? No, it's not right. It's just like I don't know, man.
Dude, like you're purporting to know things that you just simply cannot know.
What about Satoshi's writing style? Well, if you recall from part 1,
If Adam Back says it's okay, other than, I pressed too much on the guy already. I'm just defending my points here. There's a lot of stuff that I left out of the video, but
uses British English, and whenever possible, he's known to use double.
a new internet oddity. I could probably make one. Like guys, I've been wanting to take a step back from all this, but they keep pulling me back in. I wanted to take a break. I really wanted to, but when I see this stuff, it just really frustrates me.
Space after each period. Adam Back frequently includes double spacing after each sentence in his various writings, and he's British, so British English.
Yes, he's British. He uses British English, and he's old enough to always type with 2 spaces. That is pretty much age.
He agreed with all this.
It's also remember how Satoshi hid a political message inside the Genesis block that references the Times, a UK newspaper? Well, what if I told you Adam Back is known for leaving political messages with...
He's a cypherpunk. That's expected.
Yeah, but if you read it, it says he's also known for starting the trend of making political statements. And look, cypherpunks definitely have their ideals, but when you pair that with something he is self-proclaiming about himself in 2007, that's something he kind of, stands proud of, So I would say that if he did it before, why is it so out of the question to consider that he would do it again?
On back to code. And he grew up in...
And what are the odds that he lived in
the Times newspaper was
the
distributed?
exact same place that the source material of his political message came from?
Moving on, not many people know.
Look, you guys, this is the world's biggest coincidence. Jesus Christ, dude. We're proud of people like you. And from the Filthy Frank era. Hazard Squad, we don't care about throwing a couple grand your way home if this is the first time I see live on YouTube. All right, you just... Jesus Christ, you guys. Thanks, man, for the 500 euros. I don't know what to say. That's a fuck ton of money. Thank you, Luciano, too. Jesus. I normally stream on Twitch, by the way, guys. If you guys, when I edit videos, I stream on Twitch if you want to follow and see what I do. I don't sell... I'm not going to sell you anything there, but if you want some white noise, occasionally I do. When I do edit, I would go follow there. Thank you so much, by the way, you guys. Both the Hazard Squad folks, I appreciate it. Shout out for supporting her father.
Yes, Times of London
is it crazy to think that Bitcoin's price will go up because of its scarcity? I think there's a lot of other things that are going on in the market altcoin. It's so frustrating to usually the thing that gave it value in the first place was the Silk Road gave it value in the first place. And Ross Ulbricht, as much as I did a piece on him, he did give value to Bitcoin, and I'll give him that. And even some of the people I disagree with about the whole Free Ross org, I can still see their point of view. I just don't lean entirely that way. But in terms of Bitcoin and its scarcity, yes. But the hard... It's what's the end game? And when I know, I don't think Adam has to necessarily disclose when he's going to sell or do whatever the hell, right? But I don't know. I think that Tether is probably the big thing moving the market right now. If you guys look at the USD volume between the exchanges, as Tether prints, it literally pumps the market. And I know there's so many conspiracies about that. I don't want to get into it. About BitConnect, I would definitely do a video about BitConnect. It's really, really, it's like a perfect internet shit show. It's great entertainment. Doug Polk has a great video series on it. Highly recommend it. Think this will affect the price of BTC? Not as much as Tether.
Distributed in London, yes.
But web design wasn't Satoshi's specialty. He actually received help in creating the forums from a guy named Marty Mel.
Thank you, Kubi. And thank you, Val Guardian.
me. But if you take a look at the earliest capture of Bitcoin.org when it was done by Satoshi, it's incredibly minimalistic. And if you take a look at cypherspace.org, Adam Mack's website, and look at the earliest capture, it looks incredibly similar to Bitcoin in layout.
Oh God, really? You're gonna examine like HTML code and say that they're both simplistic, therefore the
Yes. If you write things in a very similar way and you code websites, if you don't have that skill set for HTML, that's another, part of the fingerprint. Of course I'm going to analyze it, dude.
they're the same. Guys, you don't understand. Like early on, when you if you're a programmer and you create a website, unless you happen to be a front-end developer, it's going to be very minimal. They didn't have web
Exactly. That's my point. He didn't have that skill set. That is a notable thing.
frameworks back then to make like a static web.
I looked at his Hashcash website too, and it's a little bit nicer, but I believe can't remember what happened to. I maybe hired someone to develop it because I noticed the writing style was different as well on his Hashcash website.
Website generation really easy and beautiful. I mean, you just did the default thing. That's a common thing that most developers.
They didn't want to let me on. They wanted to censor me. They said that they would let me on, and look at what they say at the end of the stream. And that's this is the reason that I went live.
Live chat. Throw in a smiley face if you remember Tone Vays' first website.
Not hundreds, but times are rough, and we all, dude. Coiner, you've been a long time supporter, man. You've helped. You've been hanging out since like Satoshi Part 1, dude.
That I created
when I was editing back on YouTube.
2014.
You guys are ridiculously nice today.
With HTML code, and you're gonna see a lot of smiling faces right now. Maybe not a lot.
Well, Adam heard about it. They're gosh, so stupid. All right.
Oh yes, so stupid. I hate this shit. You smug son of a bitch.
Let's move on.
Him advocating about the discussion of WikiLeaks. In 2012, he started updating Wikipedia articles about Bitcoin, providing detailed insight into the history of it. But something you should know is that the guy didn't get involved with Bitcoin until April of 2013. Once again, this guy cared enough about Bitcoin's history to update its Wikipedia article, but not enough to mine a single Bitcoin. It's also incredibly interesting that Blockstream...
Well, so a couple of things there. So first of all, moving to Malta doesn't necessarily mean you're about to cash out a giant sum of money, which Adam Back...
I believe Malta's residency program requires you to stay there for a while. I don't know all the technical amounts, but cryptocurrency isn't taxed there as like long-term bonds. So it's a really good place. It's literally the hub for cryptocurrency in the modern, day. It's a YouTube video. Thank you. Shows its true potential.
Hasn't actually done yet, and yet he's been in Malta for the last 5 years. In addition, oh man, I just lost my little train of thought. Let me just go back one. Oh, so April of 2013, yes, that's when he became public, and Blockstream was created.
All right, it's 2013. Reddit isn't around yet. How do you get involved with Bitcoin? You go to Bitcoin Talk. There was I know enough about that you wouldn't show up. That's how you know. You make your first post. That, and get this, Thamos hasn't released all of Satoshi's messages. He hasn't. He never released all of his messages. Good old Thamos.
When, 2014?
Late 2013.
Show us the emails, Adam. Dude, I think it's best that, look, as much as all this, don't go heckle the guy. Just be like, hey, man, I think the way to put it is, just accept him as Satoshi and just, I've been clowning him, but truth be told, I'm over it after this live stream. Unless some big-ass expose forces me to respond. But when I saw something like this that I knew would get attention because the guy had 100K subs, I had to respond.
Early 2014,
right.
I think.
So this is him being public, trying to create a company. It doesn't mean that he wasn't mining. So he went back to the same post where Adam said he wasn't mining back in 2009. That doesn't mean Adam wasn't mining in 2011 or 2012.
Yes, it does, because you skipped over the damn fucking reference. He said, alas, I don't own a single Bitcoin.
You could have easily mined in 2011, 2012. He probably was.
Oh, my God.
Well, I mean, mining in 2012 started to get pretty difficult. You couldn't do it with a GPU.
It doesn't necessarily mean he was mining back then. Yes, that's
very
literally
easily.
what he says.
That was like the FPGA era. So it's I mean, like to suggest, oh, well, Adam was
The other thing too is I believe Satoshi had a decent amount of hash power too, and you know who else would know how to optimize the hash power? You know, the person who fucking, you know, who made the algorithm, or not the algorithm, but who made the proof of work system.
Suggest that Adam wasn't mining in 2012. Well, I mean, it was hard for anyone to mine. Like GPUs just simply weren't.
McMurray. Thanks for the vid, dude. It's interesting, and someone who holds a lot of BTC on how your revelation. Look, man, I don't want to give you investment advice, but all I'm saying is, you know, do your own research. Like, look, Bitcoin is much like if there's one thing you don't want to do, and so far, is that betting against Bitcoin has been kind of a consecutively bad thing to do. It is heavily manipulated, and I would say until you start to see some real pushes and innovation, maybe Blockstream will come through. You know, maybe they will turn around and they will provide a really, really good service. But like, I just wish that they would just be more transparent, dude. There's nothing wrong with wanting to make money off a project that you created. And there's nothing wrong with Satoshi wanting to own his own project and have influence over it. There's nothing wrong. Just be honest.
Weren't good enough at that point. I mean, you can maybe make back the.
But in terms of the price, like, I would say that you could probably make money day trading it. Just ride the tether pumps. But I would be very careful if tether gets regulated.
Cost of the GPU itself, if you ran it for a few months, something like that, that's the degree. Like you have to invest some serious amount of money for that. You know, ASICs were just coming online starting in 2013, so it was already becoming a very specialized field.
I will say this too. Something I didn't include in the video is that in the Bitcoin XT 2015 email, a lot of people mentioned that it being fake because someone opened a relay or something like that. No, it wasn't. It misconfigured that day. Don't read into that. That's not true. Someone commented about that in my comment section. Someone quickly debunked it. But yes, Adam Back was also following the Bitcoin XT mailing list on August 15th, and he was following it, replying I think a couple hours earlier too. So.
Field already by that time. So again, this guy doesn't know the history of Bitcoin or what the different eras were, and
I'd say a safer investment is, generally speaking, you know, theoretically this isn't an investment advice, but the safest investments are generally government bonds.
He's kind of acting like an expert in this video, despite him not being one.
And so let's so here's the other thing. Adam Back is a really smart guy.
He is.
PhD.
Is Adam Back a smart dude, you guys? Is Adam Back smart? I don't think for a second the guy is stupid. I don't think he's. You know how they say you min-max your life? You know, I don't think the guy's stupid. I you know, to some degree, despite all the stuff I know, I still think the guy's pretty damn smart. You know, and I think he has invested interest. And a lot of people rag on him about the Tab-Oshi thing, where he talked about creating tabs and stuff. But look, you know, if he's got a business goal in mind, you know, I don't think he's an idiot.
Computer scientist. If just because he didn't have an interest in Bitcoin in 2009, and when you ask him, hey, Adam, did you mine Bitcoin when Satoshi sent you the code? No. It doesn't mean that he didn't have an interest in Bitcoin in 2010. He may or
yeah, especially after WikiLeaks. I mean, that put it on the map. And like, and why would he edit the Bitcoin articles? Because he's a cypherpunk. He has like.
Oh, no, if you edit the articles, you know about Bitcoin's history. So it's not about him being a cypherpunk. It's about you slipping up. He tried to delete those Wikipedia accounts. And he even said on his own website when he was talking about. So someone deleted Satoshi Nakamoto off of the Wikipedia website. And he made a request to undelete it. And it's like, you can't delete Satoshi. He's the hottest thing since, you know, sliced bread. And he said, does anyone know how to use Wikipedia? So I don't think he knew that he couldn't delete his contributions. And if you look at those accounts, they're both deleted.
Access to the cypherpunk archives, and he could talk.
To be fair, he could have gotten banned, but who knows?
Talk about it, right? Like he can provide insights as a cypherpunk and not necessarily as the creator. It's, yeah.
And here's the other thing. It probably would not have taken Adam Back long to just go down the Bitcoin rabbit hole. And when WikiLeaks was mentioned, which by the way was December of 2010, and I remember that, and I even Googled Bitcoin late December 2010, early 2011, and all that I saw was mining. And I said, I don't have the expertise nor the time for this, when I should have just started taking a day off from my Wall Street job and taking.
Oh, Tone Vays, man.
Look,
do you guys know? Like, I waited through all of this at 1 times speed.
Then
I was being very patient, and everyone was asking for me to come on and talk.
Back to Bitcoin in 2013 during the actually in danger.
Oh, there's one part that just pissed me off so much at the end.
Updating all kinds.
Okay, so you guys remember this post?
Kinds of stuff about Bitcoin in 2012 in Wikipedia. So by 2013, Adam Back should be a freaking expert. And yes, maybe on that day, on April 17th, 2013, look at this post, April 18th. So guess what other information Adam Back has? Adam has information of the same.
Have you ever noticed that we only know?
What are you fucking talking about? It's like when someone is talking loud, they think they're right.
Talking about. So Adam also knows how much Bitcoin Satoshi may have. Because he has the same information.
Yeah. About Satoshi's first year of mining. Well, it's incredibly interesting here that Adam Back implies an entirely separate hoard of coins. And the bug fix he's referring to is so incredibly obscure. How would you know about a mining bug fix that was never included in the changelog?
Okay, listen to this. They could not refute this. And it's right on the screen. Read the screen. Read the screen. All right, so they're like, they said, how would this guy know about this changelog fix unless someone fed it to him, right? And it's literally on the screen, like where I learned about it. It's literally like, look, it doesn't say anything. So this is the guy who actually did the analysis on Satoshi's coins, and he responded to Adam Back. So that's how I figured it out. And Gregory Maxwell was the one who brought it up.
So I don't understand how Barely Sociable can actually be an expert on how obscure this bug is. Like, how does...
If it's not included in the changelogs, it's pretty obscure. What's Hazard Gang. Thank you, Marco. Jesus. Are these real donations? Something's up. Is this like like where they refund it later? I hope not, man. I really appreciate it regardless. At least for the thrill of it. You guys...
Like there was nothing... I mean, like, considering the guy can't even pronounce he doesn't know how to pronounce Gavin Andresen.
Dude, I have dyslexia. You can go fuck yourself.
And yet he has information on an obscure bug fix that Jimmy had to dig back into the back of his head. Like,
that doesn't change the fact at all that Adam shouldn't know about this.
How? Who told you this? Like who's feeding you
Thank you, Marco.
Tiny sliver?
Who's feeding me? Me, because I do research, dude. Unlike you, man, who just makes YouTube videos to do fucking trading analysis. Fuck, man, I can draw charts on a fucking graph all day. You want to buy my trade signals? Jesus Christ, man. Thank you, Tone. Thank you, Tone, for, inspiring me to respond to you today. It's been... Oh, man.
Interesting.
This is what I'm talking about, shooting themselves in the foot. Like, they could have just not made this video, and I would have never responded. I would have moved on with my life, but they just keep fucking prodding me.
Information surrounded by a mountain of big blocker propaganda.
Oh, yeah.
There's no way in hell Barely Sociable would have been able to come up with this on his own research.
What do you guys think? Do you think I could have come up with it on my own? I don't know, man. I don't know if you can trust a SoundCloud rapper. How the fuck you find this shit? Just to the spit bars and fuck a bit. Can't trust a SoundCloud rapper. It could be fake donos. Regardless, it's hype, But thank you. In case it's not, it's just...
This is correct.
In 2010, when you supposedly got to the forum 2 days ago. And the fact that he mentioned these...
Again, getting to the forum 2 days ago doesn't mean that Adam Back didn't read
Impossible.
everything and anything about Bitcoin going back to 2002 or whenever Peter Todd sent that email to Hal Finney.
banking services that are confidential, that might explain why Blockstream shifted gears to profit off the block size being small. We may never know, because Adam Back, just like Blockstream.
Again, there's no evidence that Blockstream is
Keep going. You guys are funny as hell.
profiting from the block being small. There's zero evidence of that.
You're a rapper. I'm unsubbing.
Never wants to make the financial intentions clear. Later on, Adam Back actually wrote to the author of this article and said, question for the blog author. When was that bug fixed? What proportion of the 130 mil did he spend or cash? That's just curiosity. And I suppose it seems...
Oof. What happened?
The guy can't even pronounce...
He can't even pronounce Gavin Andresen? YouTube? Uh-oh. Yeah, false flag bribery. Let's do this real quick. Did my internet cut out? Let's see. I think YouTube's down. Let's take a look. Yeah, that just happened. So I'm still live. Something's just, it could be just YouTube. Oh, something's up. Maybe I am throttled. It's definitely my computer. I can reconnect. The big voice, yeah. Silly. I usually I think a lot of those like gang people or whatever, I don't want to throw them under the bus, but like I don't know if it's like one of those lizard squad things where they just hit people offline. Hopefully not. I think my computer was doing this, but interesting. Let's check this. Interesting. Still live. It's definitely throttling, dude. What's up? Interesting. One sec, guys.
Graphic design has changed. It's gone from this to this, and
All right, it's back. I think it was just a weird just need to reset real quick. One second, guys. Let me pull the video back up. Spooky. Do. I gotta go fish for the link again. Hold on. All right, there it is. We got it, boys. We got it. Alrighty. Thank you. Paid clickbait.
Almost never touches code.
Yeah. And I mean, they're doing stuff like mini scripts, simplicity, you know, lots of very interesting things from an academic perspective, which he fits kind of like his PhD nature. That's the like. It's not he's not gonna go in and optimize like level DB rights or something like that. Like that's not like something that he's necessarily interested in. But
I would be careful. I'm obviously not gonna click any links, you guys, or do anything to people that I don't know, especially with all this stuff going on.
Those are the pull requests that get merged into court.
Hey Adam, next time you're hanging out at the office, give your
Kick the hornet's nest. Look, I told him I'd stop. You just gotta stop trying to discredit me.
Give your database admin a day off, and you know, run a store.
Optimize some query.
Yeah. Yeah. Sapphire, thank you so much, you guys. Jesus Christ, it's so nice of you. Between the Patreon stuff, like, you know, it's just cool to see the what's it called? All the support. Yeah, really, thank you, all of you.
Optimize a query, and you will.
In the event that those donations are real, you know, sorry for doubting.
Satisfied, barely sociable as to your coding contribution.
So he said there that because he never added a single line of code that he's making fun of it. He's like, oh yeah, he totally should just go do that work when he's got much better things to do. But like that wasn't always the case in 2013. Why he started on the developmental mailing list in 2013, he didn't touch the project. So why were you adding suggestions in 2013? You can go look this up. Bitcoin Dev. Look at 2013 May, and he starts talking about, you know, centralization issues that he's worried about. But yes, so why would he not add any lines of code then? Blockstream wasn't founded until 2014.
It does finally join the Bitcoin.
I guess these guys I think they legitimately thought that I was just given info from like Roger or something like that, and I didn't research this myself. So that way when they would go to discredit me, like I wouldn't know what I was talking about. It's amazing to think that like they're so doubtful that someone would actually just go research this.
Forums and start participating in the community. April 17th, 2013. This is the exact date that an article by the name of The Well-Deserved Fortune of Satoshi Nakamoto came out. He joined back the day everyone figured out how much money Satoshi Nakamoto had. In his introductory post, he starts off.
What is money? Money. What is money to you guys? Do you like money? Do you like women? Do you like cars? Do you like living a fast lifestyle?
Bossing people around. He doesn't have a natural progression to the community whatsoever. His first post is telling others to fix certain explanations on the.
See, at this point, I have to say, like, this video has discredited itself so many times that anything that it's said at any point needs to be fact-checked and fact-checked and fact-checked. Like,
hey, Tone Vays. Suck a dick.
I no longer believe that this is his first post. Like, I don't trust
like, this is why they didn't want me on. I could be like, oh yeah, go look it up. It's his first post.
Anything that is said in this video at this point.
So they did have newbie jail. I was in newbie jail when I first.
And good on Jimmy for digging him out of that stupid one, because he saw the chat and he's like, oh shit, it is actually the first post. Look at him looking over to the chat.
Like, I register actually, I think before Adam onto Bitcoin Talk, but they have newbie jail where you have to make 5 posts, and that's what he's saying is he wants to dig himself out of newbie jail, and you know, why is difficulty not expressed in bits? Yeah, so basically that's actually a legitimate question.
that Adam is trying to answer?
Well, that's actually a very good question. Like, for a
Thank you, everyone.
technical question is,
No, I think you're good saying that. Hey, man, freedom of speech. And by the way, nothing said in this video is... You should always do your own research. Don't listen to anything I say. For all you know, everything I've told you this far has been complete bullshit.
difficulty
Always do your own research. Never assume I'm right.
is put into like a very large number. You can put it in bits notation in a smaller.
But that's
What are they talking about?
that's also Barely Sociable's point. Adam shows up and starts being
Kubi, thank you so much for all the support, man. Have a good night.
unreasonably smart about Bitcoin, and therefore he has to be pushed. So listen to his point.
Let's finally join the Bitcoin forums and start participating in the community. April 17th, 2013. This is the exact date that an article by the name of The Well-Deserved Fortune of Satoshi Nakamoto came out. He joined back the day everyone figured out how much money Satoshi Nakamoto had. In his introductory post, he starts off bossing people around. He doesn't have a natural progression to the community whatsoever. His first post is telling others to fix certain
They were roasting me. Oh, look, we can look at the chat. They were roasting me so fucking hard in here. Look at all this. Like, I was being very patient with them. Like, oh man, I hate it when I argue with people on the internet and they don't agree with me. Let me see. Altcoin, dude, thank you for being like, out of all those people, being fucking reasonable. Bitcoin motorist too. As much as I've had like my quarrels with this guy and I don't see eye to eye, the guy's, you know, somewhat reasonable.
explanations on the Bitcoin wiki.
Very
2 days later,
persistent,
someone
dude.
ended up linking the post about Satoshi Nakamoto's fortune on the forums.
For
And Adam chimed in
voiceover.
saying, well, that's
Hey, maybe I'll do. Anyone got any gigs? Send me a DM. I'll do some gigs for you. That'd be kind of fun. Like, see, I never even thought about that. Like, just doing like voice acting, or not voice acting, but just voiceover.
kind of an unfortunate
Easy.
privacy bug. Coincidentally, I thought I fixed a few potential issues like this in Hashcash. For Satoshi now, maybe he can find a private buyer
Thank you, Cheyenne. Or is that Cheyenne? Tetra?
via a lawyer and Swiss banking services. Or perhaps we're forced to implement zero coin to protect him. Anyway, don't
By the way, Zerocoin was a protocol that was about to be added to Bitcoin that would basically obfuscate all of the transactions. It didn't go through because of a bug, and Adam was, advocating for it to be added as well, and it never ended up going through.
sweat people. He can probably get by on a few million play money and his post privacy bug fix mining horde until there's a solution on his post. When was that bug fixed, by the way? I can't tell from those low res graphs. And he's probably holding out for the 10K Bitcoin era anyway. Have you ever noticed that we only know about Satoshi's first year of mining? Well, it's incredibly interesting here.
Kevin Andreessen, and
Critical of Bitcoin in any way. Forget that a lot of other projects have already fixed its problems. Because if you don't, and you don't put your faith in,
right, a lot of the other projects have already
have fixed it. Yeah.
Has Monero done a better job than Bitcoin Core at adding privacy function? Has Bitcoin Cash added a larger block size to send more transactions? Has Bitcoin Gold or what was it, Ravencoin, addressed a lot of the ASIC mining issues?
Yeah, so I mean, this guy's kind of revealing himself to be an altcoiner right there.
I'm an altcoiner because I don't fucking worship a fucking currency. Holy shit. You can like Bitcoin. This is propaganda. It's telling me to research something else, not just Bitcoin. I can't just... Satoshi made this one.
then Satoshi
To be fair, though, to Blockstream, if they do pull it off, they would have like a one-size-fits-all solution. But they need to be like, that's our goal. That's our roadmap, you know?
Nakamoto can't deliver you from the
Thank you, Jister.
evil banks. Heaven forbid people in a community-driven project.
They did not want me on because I could refute all their points. I know exactly what I'm talking about. And everyone in the chat was like, let Barely on. Look, like, Tone, let Barely speak on the stream. Who knows how long the stream will be? Please know, like, let's hear from Barely Accurate, you know? Like, Barely Sociable, just giggling like a child in chat. Like, it's just like, I'm not going to, they banned me too. They banned me in the chat. To be fair, that was someone else, but I was like, Debate me, moron, basically.
Project ask for something to be catered towards the community. The problem here is a conflict of interest. With hiding your identity, you have two sets of investors to please. Those who invest in Bitcoin, who want it to succeed in the long term, and investors of Blockstream, who want to push transactions off the main network to make money. And you know you've created a board.
Again, no evidence of that.
No evidence? Are you high on fucking crack, dude? There's no evidence for the Earth to be round. There's no evidence that they want to make money? What? What? How can you sit in a stream and just say bullshit for hours?
On cult of
Yeah.
I mean, I'm one to talk.
And apparently the investors know that he's Satoshi, so.
Look at that face. You can't see it.
I mean, that doesn't make any sense either.
Centralization now actively support Blockstream's alternative centralized network. This situation has
There's no. What Blockstream centralized network? So
Liquid is a federated network. And if you look up the definition of federated, it's a centralized network.
now
I think he's talking about Liquid, but yeah.
Liquid is.
Lightning. Oh, Liquid. I'm sorry.
Tone, do you know what you're talking about? Do you know, like, what? I've been involved with this industry, not even involved in it, but just like a fucking passerby for fucking since January, and since I brushed up, since like 2016, and I've known a little bit about it since then, but now I've done research. And how do you not know this stuff, man?
He's talking about Liquid.
I'm not the crypto expert, dude. I'm the internet mystery SoundCloud rapper Redditor. Like,
Now, I don't know. Look, I don't know much about Liquid. I'm not gonna.
I don't know much about Liquid. Holy shit.
Speculate. This is why we're going to have a tech show, and we're going to talk about whether Liquid is or isn't a decentralized network. Not doing it tonight.
of centralized network. This situation has been very disappointing to watch unfold. This is barely sociable. Have a good night.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfold.
Oh, thanks to Mute. You guys like that outro music? That shit went hard. Fucking Muse Bloody Tears.
Because of the research that you've done in like a month, mostly from Bcash people.
Okay, first and foremost, that video, I started my my series back in January. So that would be a lot longer than a month.
Like, God, dude, you can't even spell things correctly, and
Duh.
don't know stuff like digital currency initiative. How can you say?
I said DCG, and I mistyped it because there's no spell correct or autocorrect, and I just fucked it up. Fuck, man. Like, DCG, Digital Currency Group, is another investment group, if I recall. But
that you're disappointed as if you've been around this community a long time when you're clearly a noob. It doesn't make any sense. And the guy is one of those people that's just,
dude, I want to smack his fucking stupid ass cowboy hat off his head.
come into the community thinking that he knows everything and that he's going to be the one to tell the story as it is, when in fact he couldn't even tell the difference between what actually happened versus what Bcashers told him happened. So kind of.
Ooh, boy. Do you guys see now why I turned on the stream and I did this afterwards? Fam, no worries. Those are real. I donated over 50K to YouTubers. I'll get you. Dude, you don't need to do that. It's insane. The outro music was called Bloody Tears from Castlevania. It's Muse piano cover.
Kind of a sad story, but I mean, this is what happens to a lot of noobs. When you're ready for the truth, and instead of like making for a good narrative arc in a video, then you're ready for Bitcoin. Until then, I think this was a complete failure. And
this is the fucking condescending elitism. It's like when Elon Musk says, like, dude, like, Bitcoin, I don't really like Bitcoin. Elon Musk has kind of been neutral about it. And people are like, Elon Musk is like, he's a smart dude, but he just doesn't understand cryptocurrency. And I'm like, the guy wants to go to fucking Mars, and you don't think he can understand, like, a fucking decentralized computer network? The guy fucking, like, helped engineer, like, his company made it, like, to be fair, it probably wasn't him doing that, but, like, this is how you know you're in a fucking cult. is when you act critical. You cannot be critical of anything, or else you get this condescending fucking attitude. Stupid shit.
Very sad state of affairs that 200,000 people have actually watched it.
It's a sad state of affairs for anyone who watches any of your videos, man.
Good production value, though.
Yeah.
I know. Okay, so Barely Sociable still in the chat. I'm not gonna talk to him today, but
Look at him scratch his head. This pissed me off so much. Like,
I'm willing to talk to him this weekend, maybe.
maybe, you know, after this video goes up and leeches off your keyword.
On how busy everybody is. Barely.
Oh yeah, Antonopoulos. Thank you for reminding me.
I will follow you on Twitter. I will DM you on Twitter, and you're welcome to come on the show.
I'm not gonna go on your show. I'm not gonna go on your show. I'm gonna attach my name to you, man. After all that, I gave you the time of day. I went into the fucking lion's den on your chat with everyone who's like against my point of view and wanted to defend it, and you would not let me on the stream, and you made me waste 2 hours of my life, and heaven forbid I would give you fucking any more time of the day, man. You're a piece of work, dude. Piece of work.
But if you become a problem during the show, you will be censored, and the show will end.
If you disagree with me, you will be censored, and the show will end.
But I am happy to bring you on to try and defend your propaganda video. You're welcome to that. Now, if you had only made this video without the propaganda angle and only focused on actual evidence of Adam Back being Satoshi,
then it would have been a like 8-minute video. The whole point is to make a compelling case that, you know, they were involved with things in 2015. They had some pull in the community. You know, that's what I was trying to portray. You know, the block size issue is a completely separate thing. And Marco, thank you. I know, but the fact that like Adam talked to this guy to defend him, come on, Adam, hire a PR person, man. Hire a real one. It's just like insane.
I would not have made this video with Jimmy Saw. It would not have been a need. The reason for this video.
Look at how pissed off everyone was. Let him talk now. Completely weak, running from Barely Sociable. Do it now. And I go, aha. Please let him talk now. Even the people who didn't like me wanted me to talk. Told you so. Bitcoin. Jesus. All right, guys. That was all of that. That's what I dealt with today. That's the reason I came back. It's petty as fuck. I totally know that. But the reality here is that I just wanted to, you know, voice what I've been dealing with this entire week, especially on Twitter. So let's switch over to scenes, and I don't know. Like, look, if you have other intentions, maybe he's not. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he's intelligent. He just doesn't know. Maybe he just got an ulterior motive. All right, let's look up what we wanted. I think this guy knew who Satoshi was as well.
A lot, Andreas. That was a great speech. What's your opinion why Mr. Nakamoto haven't explained why what Bitcoin is for exactly, and why do you think he decided not to reveal his identity?
Well, in Greek mythology, there's the story of Prometheus, and Prometheus had the audacity to steal fire from the gods and give it to man. And as punishment for that, he was tied to a rock where an eagle would eat his liver every day, and then overnight the liver would be regrown so he could be tortured all over again. Satoshi Nakamoto stole money from the state not stealing the money itself, but stealing the technology of money and giving it to man directly. And if we ever find out who Satoshi Nakamoto is, the most likely result will be that someone will either metaphorically or quite literally tie him to a rock for an eagle to eat his liver out, or her liver, or their liver. The day after Nakamoto is found, we will discover from the media that this person is a criminal, a terrorist, a Muslim, a lesbian, a vegan, an anarchist, a punk rocker, and biologically related to Justin Bieber. I just...
Oh, I was muted that whole time.
It's enumerated.
Yeah. Mic muted. What was I saying? I was saying, like, this is why I was so disappointed, because I don't think the dude's a bad dude. I just think we just want some transparency, and he should just own up to it. Simple as that. You know, if they keep pressing me, like, you can even joke about it, but I don't know, man. We're all watching Titty Coin. Thank you, Coiner. Barely coherent. Bonk. It doesn't scare us like that. Alright, guys. That's about as much talking as I can do for a day. I'm going to unlist this stream, but I will upload it on my second channel. And then you guys can check it out there. If you guys want to, if I do stream, I don't normally stream here at all. I don't like to inundate you guys with notos because people got, like, reasonably, it would be frustrating to see all that. So Twitch is where I normally stream. I have a really small following over there. It's more chill when I edit stuff, because I can't keep up. I keep up with chat there a hell of a lot more. So if you want to go check that out, and some links in my other videos. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. My Twitter, if you guys want more updates. I'm going to try and step away from all this stuff, but, like, I'm trying to step away. But when I saw that shit today, and I couldn't even defend myself, it's just very frustrating. It's slightly sociable. And then Twitch is barely sociable. Yeah, if you guys want to back up this video, fair enough. And Tone Vays and Jimmy Song, like, if by chance they're still here, like, you guys, I'm going to defend my work, and you can't stop me from doing that. All jokes aside, as much as I talk shit because I'm frustrated, like, just, no. Hash cash. Oh. Oh, God. Hash cash, hash cash. All right, let's see. I don't think... Stay half an hour more. Okay. Let's ask... You're going to donate 100 pounds and then... or euros? Wait, is it euros? I'm stupid. All right. Give me 1 second to take a quick break, and I will come back, okay? I'll be right back, you guys. Thank you, Marlon. Yeet. Yeet, 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 yeet. Titties. All right, we back. We back. Let's, where do we go from here? Do you guys, let me just answer some of your questions. I know I haven't looked at chat for like a while. Or it's been really hard to keep up with. Streamlags is drunk fam. Well, it's been staying for half an hour. Oh shit. I didn't even know. I haven't used this in so long. I don't even know if it's set up, man. That's probably why. Thank you again, Marco, for all the support tonight. Honestly, I'm not an expert in crypto or Bitcoin, but I'm being honest. This guy's ultra defensive. Yeah, man, it's a shame. It's really a shame. Who knows? Maybe he's got some legal thing, you guys. Maybe we shouldn't, like, let's not bug him anymore, though. Like, if he has some, like, it's on him. The ball's in his court. Like, if he's got some legal binding where he literally cannot, you know, it is what it is. Like, I don't think it changes much with Bitcoin. I think people overemphasize it. And while it gave them, you know, a comparative advantage over other currencies, it is what it is. It is what it is. That was a soothing jam. That was Holmes' Odyssey album. I really recommend Holmes' music, especially if you use YouTube videos, because he doesn't copyright strike you. It's like good EDM too, or just chill wave. Thank you guys. So, Nexpo? What about Nexpo? You might legally have to disagree with him. Oh man, I think that would be something else, man. Streamlines won't let us donate 5K. Trying to get bits and donate them on Twitch, dude. You don't need to do that. And I'm not trying to reverse psychology either. Like, dude, donate that money to COVID. Or some trustworthy charity or something like that. I really appreciate you guys wanting to support. There's plenty of people who need it right now. You know? Please rap. Dude, I got an audience, man. I don't want that. It's crazy. How's Livestream? It's good, man. No complaints. Power usage, it's Red Queen's race, it claims, more to say, and crypto can be used to pay tax for roads. Sebastian, and can be used to pay for tax for roads, schools. Red Queen's race. I'm not. Maybe you can elaborate. I'll look for your message again in chat, Sebastian. I don't know if I fully understand. Am I friends with Nexpo? I haven't talked to him for a while. We hung out, but he's a cool dude. Yeah, that whole group of horror YouTubers is cool. It's chill. It's low key. Everyone's doing their own thing. Rap. Red Queen. You guys put me on the spot like that. Oh man, I'm too nervous, you guys. Aliens, though. Do you ever review fan videos? Yes, I do. Like, look, I only have so much time for every person. I've written, like, if you want to start a YouTube channel or something like that, I wrote a pastebin a while back on how I got started and like what I would do. It's very practical advice. It's free. I'm not trying to sell you a course or any shit like that. Go look up the pastebin. I'm sure one of my mods in my Discord could link you it. But yes, I do sometimes. I'm not saying all of you send me stuff, but like, I'll tell you how it is. I think it's better to have someone be, real with you, because a lot of people are new. They're new, Let's see. Finally, a foot reveal after all this. Ooh, foot reveal, finger. I've already done. I mean, you guys have basically already seen. I mean, maybe you haven't seen my foot. I've done a face reveal, but man, you know where the money goes. Yeah, that's true. It's hard to say, man, but at least you can write it off as like taxes and stuff like that, Barely up reveal. IP reveal. Satoshi would like to know your location. Do I believe in God. I was raised in a very strict Christian household, but I'm what's it called? That's my point is I'm not what's the word? I respect my parents' beliefs, but you know how that goes. If you guys have ever experienced anything similar, I'm not going to talk shit though. Some never mind. Yeah. Do I believe in UFOs and aliens? Creepiest internet mysteries I've come across? Like that wasn't an ARG? I would say I like Cicada. I think Cicada is a classic as much as I talk crap about it. Recent history? I don't know. I like that. As weird as it sounds, I like that I Am Sophie ARG. I think it's still going on. Creepiest, though, probably the Try FG one from 4chan. It's creepy, just from the imagery. Yeah, I don't know. Dude, thank you. Let me rap about Tone Vays. Dude, I've already reached new levels of petty today. I'm shy, you guys. I'm shy. Yeah. Did I drop out of college? Yes. Try FG. Yeah. I might do a mixtape for you guys. I said like a mixtape or like 1 million subs, just for shits and giggles, not too serious. You guys, it's funny that like when you're a musician, you're like, listen to my music, listen to it. I'm an up and coming artist. But then like now I don't want anyone to hear my music. Everyone's like, hey, make music like you do on Twitch. I don't know. I like Twitch. I like streaming to like a smaller crowd. If you guys want to go follow on Twitch, I might go play like some games or something over the next couple days. But yeah, if you want to follow on Twitch, or I might do, no promises, but I might rap over there. How about that? Actually, I will. I'll sometime in the next few days, if you follow my Twitch, I will spit some bars. I know I'm being a total blue ball right now, but like, I'm blue balling you, but yes. Hash power and bars. Depends on the genre. How many butts do I have? Only one singular butts. Do I think Atlantis isn't? I actually do. I've looked at that conspiracy. Or not that it's one of those. It's that one guy, Bright Insight. He makes a pretty decent. Like, out of all the places, if Atlantis could be real, it's the Eye of the Sahara. I've heard of that because he like compares the water levels to like the youngest driest event, and it's a pretty interesting hour-long video. Definitely recommend that guy's channel. I don't watch all of his videos, but I like the archaeology stuff. It's a little bit, not as realist as some of my content because it's hard to project, but interesting. Is there any topics you want to make a video out? Yes, lots of topics. I mean, the Scientology YouTuber that's like using his self-help business to funnel people into Scientology, or he used to, and he made all of his workers, they had to become a part of Scientology or else they got fired, and there was like a lawsuit and a couple testimonials. I wanted to look into that, but I would get sued immediately. I don't know if I get sued, but maybe. That's one I've wanted in the back of my mind. I pay no taxes. It's a scam. Travel around knowing that, nothing to anyone. You gotta have citizenship somewhere, right? What games do I play? I haven't played anything in a while. I know a lot of people have been talking about like the modern warfare, or not, whatever it is, the BR, Battle Royale. I haven't played Battle Royale since like H1Z1. I didn't really play anything after that. I liked H1Z1. What else? I played WoW. I've played it. I got like a level 30 rogue. I was leveling when I was like stoned. It's fun. Who is this? You think 7-Eleven? No, I think 7-Eleven was a part-time job. It's not the clout. Dude, I would love, if you guys want to tweet at Lamino, I would love to do the research and have Lamino, I could, kind of see how he does his editing. The guy is really, really good. That's probably the top person I'd want to collab with. Just to like learn, what his process is a little bit, because I think there's a lot of applied visuals that he has for storytelling that like I'm limited with Premiere. He does like 3D renders and then he uses Blender. He uses that map effect. It's like straight up Netflix quality stuff, man. Obviously, Lamino, great channel. He's super aloof, which is really cool. He's like really, he doesn't tweet, and he just like drops these banger videos. And I imagine him like in some coffee shop, like digging up some, just writing his script in like somewhere in Sweden. I would definitely collab with Lamino. Thank you, Helix. Thank you, everyone. Praise Helix. All right, Luna. It's been good having you guys here. All right, Luna. Good having you here, too. Sent it as he said something. What channels do you watch? I like Summoning Salt. I binged his entire channel in one sitting a while back. I haven't watched some of his newer stuff, though. Valve Index. I need sleep. Hey, Quinn. Thank you for stopping by. It's cool to see you around. I should get into After Effects a little bit more. Yes, I definitely should. I like the workflow of Premiere. It's so easy to use, and it makes sense. Some of the... I think I just got to get used to it. Just, like, stop being a baby about it. Was I worried about my personal safety? About the Satoshi video? Look, usually you want to take the journalist out before the video comes out. And let's be real. If anything does happen, that'd be a bad look for them. Yeah, it's been fun. Tone stream. I remember you, Ed. You're making some jokes, but you weren't being like deliberately rude. But hopefully, like, you can understand why I was so pissed in the chat. Favorite rapper? I like Trippie Redd, but like obviously, do I like him as a person? I don't know. I don't think so. I like his music. I like a lot of the mainstream, like Juice WRLD. I like what's it called? I mean, just that's like the emo rap, huh? I mean, obviously, you can't like not like the classic stuff, but yeah, off the top of my head, that's what my answer would be. Can I get skinny at all? If you stop eating. Song artist was Home. Yeah. That was pretty weak of him, though. Did Epstein kill himself? Nah. Laughing smiley face is a power move? It is. To see the UFO, look at the stars. I like A$AP Rocky. Lil Uzi, yeah. I definitely like Lil Uzi. I thought it was creative, like where he did like a redux of, what was that? Now I'm forgetting it. His like hit song. All my friends like put me to the. Wait, no, am I stupid? It's the part 2 that he did for Eternal Take. It's escaping me right now. Dubstep, EDM, jazz, hardcore. I got into drum and bass, but like I wouldn't say as much as other things. Dubstep back in like 2012. Whatever happened to Skrillex, dude? Like, what happened to that guy? You know, he had like multiple billion view songs. XO Tour Life, yeah, duh. Thoughts on Chris Chan? Cool. I mean, quite the rabbit hole. I think that's the best way to put it. Do I watch Glink? He did the video about SGDQ, like all the people getting banned from it. It's a great video. He's got some good, like he did the video of where he goes to to Smash Brothers tournaments, like Melee tournaments, and gives them deodorant. That's funny. Let's see. Love you too, MC. What made you want to get into rap? Drugs. I'll be real with you. Once you get off them, though, you come back to normal. I'll keep it real with you. Let's see. Has my SoundCloud been yeeted? Yes. A long time ago. Do I like Frank Ocean? Yes. Damn, what a great live chat. To the Weekend? I listened to him before. I saw him live at Coachella. Long time ago. It's like such a twerpy thing to say, but yeah, I did see him. Still into Dad, the channel? Yeah, we're supposed to... Oh yeah, we're supposed to make a song. Yeah, I joked about that a long time ago, but we never did. Yeah. Are you a Puff Daddy, Lil Bill? Do you watch? No, I haven't. Black Alpha. I don't. I'm not sure what you're referring to, Uzi 972. Info channel? Are you talking about infographics? Who are you? Barely. Any anime? No, I never got into it. Surprisingly, I'm pretty nerdy, so that's like, hey, I don't know. Rico Nasty. How old am I? All right. I'm in my 20s. Favorite old school rapper? What's your guys' favorite old school rapper? I know this is winding down you guys, but I'm burned out on energy. I spent like 3 hours roasting them. I don't know how people stream for 8 hours, dude. Do I own a pet? I have a cat. Yes, I got that pussy. It's a good pussy. Following any ARGs? I know the Sophie one was good. Nasty Nas, Tupac. This seems very sociable. Instead, hey, it's a once in a while. Barely indicates that sometimes. Lil Kim. Is that the magic? She does the Magic Stick song too. Or is that with 50 Cent? That's so old. I don't know. Old for me, relatively. Biggie Smalls. Was my cat barely pattable? Yes. Some great rap debate. Cheers, man. Thank you, Josh, for the 5. It's 113. Stop with this rapper thing. Let's do an Eternal Take review right now. Dude, I'm not the needle drop. I can't steal his thunder. Hey, guys. I need to eat dinner. I didn't know I was going to do all this shit. But I will leave this stream unlisted for you guys if you want to watch it later, and then I will upload it to my second channel. Sound good? Excuse me. I really appreciate all the support in the stream. I really appreciate I had a reason to go live. I don't want to waste your time and stream when I don't really have anything planned. But if you guys like have any ideas for main channel streams or something you want to just talk about, or like I think maybe there would be a second channel for it, because you guys subscribed for specific content, and I don't like to dilute that to make you guys turn off notifications. So yeah. All right, guys, love y'all. I appreciate all the support. Appreciate you guys letting me vent my frustration out to you guys. It's been a good stream. Take care.